This podcast is brought to you by buzzsprout.com. Launch your podcast today. Easy to use, simple uploads, free promotional tools, full statistics, packages, and more. Started over 16,000 podcasts, connect to any device, and helpful support.
Stats are for losers.
That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is.
You play to win the game.
Welcome to the Airin podcast. Welcome back, guys, to the Airing It Out podcast. I'm here with fantasy baseball champion in his league last year, my man Robin. How you doing, Robin?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Great. It's cool if we call you Rob, right? I don't know.
Actually, no. I hate Rob.
Rob, oh wow, is that like the douchey name to you? Why you don't like Rob?
I don't know. My grandma calls me it, and it just bugs the hell out of me. But I can't tell her no.
So what do you go by for short?
Robin. I don't
That's
have.
it?
I don't have a short.
How about Big R?
When people, when you've gone your entire life and people can't get your name right, that's all you want to hear. I've been called Robert and Robbie my entire life.
I get you. I've never been one of those pet peeve guys on names, just because they always get it wrong.
Yeah.
So and then I don't know, people always screw it up, and so I get you. So Robin, got it.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so Robin, what did you feel were one of the keys of your success to you winning last season?
Okay, so one of my biggest strategy points with fantasy baseball is I don't focus heavily on starting pitching.
Okay.
Like, so when the draft comes up, I'll try to get one or two starters, one or two aces. But if I don't, my pitching rotation is it's a revolving door. So Mondays and Tuesdays when the week starts, I try to pick up like 4 or 5 pitchers that have 2 starts. So
within the week.
The week, yeah, exactly. So
and that's a 7-day span or 5-day span?
7-day span. So Monday to Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get those pitchers that are going to start on Monday and Tuesday, and then they're going to probably start Saturday and Sunday. But I'm always looking ahead too. So I mean, I'm not going to pick up a pitcher on Monday who's not going to pitch because maybe there's a day off somewhere later on down the week, so they get bumped ahead to the following Monday. It's a waste of one of my pickups, Secondly, I stock up on shortstops. Like last year, I had Trevor Story, Marcus Semien, Fernando Tatis, and I had one other. Can't remember who my 4th shortstop was. And I run them all because to me, shortstop is like tight end in football. You got your top 5 guys and then everybody else. So, I mean, I like to stock up, get those guys. Trevor Story, he had a great year. Marcus Semien had a career year last year, and it was great to... those little guys in there that you don't think about really. And then I just plug in it. Because to me, people like first base, third base, an elite one, they're all over the place. I mean, every team's got an elite first baseman. Every team's got an elite third baseman. Or maybe not third, but, so I mean, I don't focus.
At least the big city teams, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then I always keep 2 catchers, 2 above, if not elite catchers. Because your catcher's not going to pitch, or he's not going to catch every game. Really? So you're going to have. I mean, what catcher goes 160 games?
It's funny. Well, that's true. I
yeah.
didn't think about that.
So that way you always have a backup, so that spot's never like empty. I've gone against players who've never gotten a second catcher, and they leave that spot open. When they're not playing or when they have a day off, or So I mean, to me, it's wasted energy. And then. So I'll concede at least 3 categories in my league or during the week. I'll give up losses. I'll give up WHIP. That's the category instead of ERA. It varies depending on how you want to play it. And then I also I'll give up. What else do I give up? Loss. I don't know.
That's okay. Don't worry about
I give up at least.
But those are the two. Those are the 2 ones that you try to focus on.
I give up at least 2 to 3 categories. I don't worry whether or not I'm accumulating losses because I'm accumulating innings pitched and strikeouts, and I don't worry about my WHIP because that fluctuates all throughout the week. Usually comes down to the last day for me, and if I can get in that guy who can drop my WHIP down, 0.05, that's great. I can win that category.
For
too.
some of the novices, what's WHIP?
WHIP is walks and hits versus innings pitched. So, if a pitcher gets up 1, 2, 3, that's it. You know, your whip stays at 0. But if you get a hit and a walk in there, it's going to jump, especially if it's like in the first day, it's going to jump up to like a 9.0.
And that doesn't count with earned runs. It's just the hitting.
No,
and
yeah,
the
it does
walks.
not count anything towards like scoreboard or anything like that. It's just how many hits, how many walks you give up. I'm not sure if hit by pitch counts towards that. I don't think it does. But then, you know, so you want those guys who are going to go 6, 7 innings and only give up, you know, a couple of hits here and there. You know, Verlander, guys like that. Garrett Cole, you know, you want guys like that.
So you're drafting, right? Let's say you're in the middle of the pack for the first round. What is the position, or it just depends where you're at in the draft, what position you want to
Really
take?
depends on where you're at in the draft. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be like in the top 3, you know, Mike Trout, Christian Yelich, maybe Arenado, I think was number 3. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check on that one. Mookie Betts, you know, that whole trade right there.
I know, that's crazy.
It's going to be great in LA.
Oh, for sure. You think that's enough to put him over the top?
No, because LA has had the lineup to go over the top.
Sure, agreed.
And they collapse at the end. I mean, they don't really collapse. I mean, when you lose 4-3 in the World Series.
But let's say Bravado, been there before, won a chip. You think that at least from a culture and a clubhouse standpoint, you think maybe he might offer something besides? I mean, I think he's a phenomenal player. But
Yes.
obviously, something the Dodgers are missing, that they're able to get to the dance and not finish.
Yeah, I think he could add that extra pep in the clubhouse, you know. But again, I've always thought Dodgers have had that, especially the last 3 or 4 years they've had that.
For sure.
Granted, there's the with the Astros and the sign stealing thing that could have been, they could have had 2 World Series rings. So
Right. Who knows?
exactly, you know, you never know, but it is what it is.
100%. So, okay. So trying to go ahead.
And
No, no, please.
a little tidbit here: I am a hardcore San Diego fan, so my opinion is probably going to be a little biased against LA. I don't like any.
Sure, I totally understand.
I root against all LA teams,
Yeah, no, I get it. I think it's more the fan base than the actual team, right?
but doing fantasy baseball, you know, you gotta look past your preferences.
I think in any fantasy sport, you got to take the homer part out of it, right? Because
exactly.
you can't have a whole San Diego team as
No.
your squad, right? But it does provide some insight, because if you're playing somebody who has, you know, a northeast bias, you might be able to scoop some guys that they're not watching as much, right?
Exactly,
Because I don't think a lot of Arizona Diamondbacks are on a lot of people's wish list. But like you said, with Story, you know, obviously the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies are a phenomenal hitting team, and being that they're at the Mile High,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think
Their numbers are inflated, but you know it still
doesn't
looks
matter.
good.
It's a win
On fantasy baseball.
Shut
That's
up.
great. Yeah.
Who cares? That's pretty interesting. So what I was gonna say was, so for me, like in football, I break up, because it's, you know, usually 12 players. I usually break it up either from 1 to 4, 1 to 5. So let's say you didn't get 5 and you're like 6, 7, 8. What are you looking for at that time?
So around 6, 7, or 8.
Are you still going position player, not pitcher? at
No,
all?
yeah, I don't go pitcher until probably 3rd or 4th. I mean,
Is that like a quarterback thing? Like most people don't take quarterbacks until late? Is that kind of
Yeah,
like a
yeah, I mean,
philosophy in baseball?
in fantasy baseball, actually, outside of like the top 2, maybe the top 3 quarterbacks, your point differential throughout the year is negligible. I mean, it's within like 5 points.
Okay.
So I mean, getting, you know, Patrick Mahomes is obviously going to be great because he's going to put up 5 touchdowns a game. But if you get somebody like Tom Brady, who's, you know, still a good
Serviceable.
quarterback, still serviceable, versus someone, you know, like on the Titans, you know, for example. I mean, it's still going to be
Right.
roughly
Quarterback
within-
score and the league
Yeah.
is set up that way.
But it's also dependent on how you have that scoring set up.
Right,
Like
I think that is huge. I learned that this year with our league,
Mm-hmm.
in the fantasy side of things, just because it surprises me that more scoring is not allowed. Like in these standard
Oh, yeah.
leagues, they don't really like open up. I mean, there's so many scoring categories. I don't know how many. I don't think you could. Excuse me, add more points. Can you add more points in the scoring
Well,
in the
see,
baseball?
I was in 2 leagues for baseball or football.
No, baseball.
For baseball, you know, I'm not 100% sure because I've never done the setup. I've never been the commissioner on any of it. I think you can add categories. So, for example, I have 13 categories. You know, I got not walks. I got hits, runs scored, innings pitched, strikeouts, saves, home runs,
Ribbies got to be on there.
Yeah,
too, right?
Ribbies. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think.
No,
of
it's
all
okay.
of
I'm trying to help because I've never played. If you can believe it.
wins, losses, steals,
Right.
whip. So I got a total of 13 categories, and at the end, and the way it works in fantasy baseball, or at least the one that I play, is it's not a matter of winning each week. It's a cumulative point total at the end of the year. So say you have you got 13 categories. You win 8 of them, so there's 8 points right there, and your opponent gets 5. But then again, you have 5 points against you. So it's
That's the thing that I found really interesting because talking to you, you're actually one of the first people that educated me a little bit about it, and I didn't realize that it's just 1 point versus like in fantasy football.
Yeah.
They can keep scoring.
exactly.
Scoring,
They can just keep on going. That's
so you get a point for whoever wins the actual statistic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So whereas in fantasy base or fantasy football, it's just you get 1 point for the end if you win or lose at the end of the week.
Right.
So, but yeah, fantasy baseball is a commitment. I mean, it's every day you're in there looking.
that's
You're
insane.
checking your lineup, making sure that there's no blank spots, trying to pick up that one extra picture that's going to
You
get you
set
over
like
the
a
hump.
timer, or you're just a junkie and you're like
Me?
on it all the time.
Oh, I'm on it all the time. Me, right at midnight, I'm 12:01. Bam, I'm checking. Like, okay, cool. This guy's going to pitch today. I'm going to pick him up because he's going to pitch on Saturday. So I'm going to get 2 in for him. And then I always make sure that okay. So like I'll look ahead for the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday usually, or Thursday, sorry, is usually when they have a day off somewhere sprinkled in there. So like Monday will come around. I'm like, okay, cool. These guys are all playing. These 2 guys are out. Let me swap them out real quick so I make sure there's no empty spots, roster spots. And then I'll never pick up like a player on Monday who's not playing later in the week. So if I need to fill a roster spot, I'm not going to pick somebody up on Monday who's just going to play Monday, but then they're off Thursday because that defeats the purpose. And then I'm going to pick someone that's got a game scheduled whenever I need them.
Okay, so pitcher you kind of sit back on, shortstop you stack up on. What's another position that you like probably bulking up or doubling down on?
I wouldn't say it's an individual position, but I like to pick up multi-position players. So, for example, who was it? Real Multu from Philly, the catcher. He was labeled as a catcher and first baseman. So, say I had another catcher that I wanted to play, and both of them are playing, and my other first baseman's not. I could switch him out then.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, and then like there's a lot of players who have multiple tags on them for different positions in fantasy.
Do they play those positions in the real game, or is just like kind of a
Not
curve?
always, but they have played that position, so they're labeled as that position in fantasy baseball, even if they don't play all year. They've like Real Mutu never played first base last year. He was always a
That's what I was
catcher.
gonna say.
So I mean, but
So it's kind of a cheat code on the low.
it is exactly it is. And I actually made this mistake once. I picked Chris Bryant over Mike Trout. I had first pick. I picked Bryant over Trout because Bryant had the multiple designations for him, whereas Trout was just a outfielder.
Did it work out for you, kind of, sort of?
I mean, Trout got injured. He was out for like 6 weeks that year. But point-wise, it really didn't make a difference.
So staying on him really quickly, okay, first let me backtrack a little bit. So do you watch a lot of baseball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happened to Chris Bryant? This guy was supposed to be like a superstar, all-star guy.
He was supposed to be one of the new younger generation guys who was going to be up there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he's happy with Chicago anymore. I mean,
that's
maybe
actually interesting.
I mean, that really does affect players. I mean,
100%.
like, yeah, it's your job and you got to go out there and play. But if you're not happy where you're at,
Right.
then
I mean, I think it's in normal life, right?
Yeah.
You have a job and you're not happy with it. You're not going to give your all. You're
Exactly. You're not going to give 100%.
I know. I'm surprised he hasn't. I mean, I haven't read anything. I don't read it. I try to read an overall broad spectrum of the sports, but I haven't heard or read anything about him not being happy.
Well,
so that I think
no,
that's an interesting take.
I have not either. That's just my speculation.
Yeah.
But with Betts off the market now, Bryant is going to be probably the next one to go if he goes at all.
What do you think is a potential landing spot for him?
You know what? I haven't looked into that. But
just based on your knowledge,
I'm trying to think of who could use a good third baseman. I mean, I'd love for him to come to San Diego.
Let me backtrack on that a little bit because I did read. What did you think about San Diego trying to get Mookie?
At first,
Because they were trying for real.
They were right there with the Dodgers, but the Dodgers had more to offer.
Is that what it came down to?
Yeah. But also, it would have been just a 1-year rental for San
Right,
Diego.
that's the thing that I saw. They're not ready. They're not primed to win right now.
Well, it's not. No, I mean,
World Series win. World Series
Yeah,
win.
exactly, yeah.
Right,
They
right.
might-
I mean, they're going to win more games for
they're-
sure.
I mean, they only won 5 more games than they did the year before, and that's with Tatis and Machado in the lineup too. I mean,
I was gonna say, I think that because I watched the Padres more than I ever have last year, and I think right at the break they were at 500, and I think that's kind of when Tatis went down. And I think
he
when
got
Tatis
right when he went down.
I feel like the team mailed it in,
Yep,
right?
they
A little
did.
bit. I don't know if
They
that's
lost the fire.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
that guy was a spark
He's
plug.
unbelievable.
He was a great player. I saw that injury. I'm like, no, why did you do that? Just let the guy get on second base, man. He did the splits.
I know,
I mean,
right? It was crazy. I mean, I'm like, bro, you know how much millions of dollars you would lose if you really messed your shit up?
But back to the Mookie Betts thing, potentially going to San Diego at the time. It would have been a 1-year rental for him to go there. The Padres would have had to given up too many prospects that they did not want to give up just for 1 year.
Right.
And then, because they're not going to be able to hold on to 2 $300 million players
100%.
when he
And
goes.
they're running out of money right? At this point. They got like maybe one more
Well, actually,
budget for another dude, or
I don't know about their budget exactly, but there was a few years back when we signed like a bunch of players. We brought in Matt Kemp, and San Diego had the highest payroll in the league at that time. That was like what, 10 years ago? Maybe not even that long ago.
no? I was going. That's probably about like I would say probably 5 years ago.
Yeah,
maybe a
right
little
around there
longer, but
when
not too far back.
we went for broke, and
I know,
we still came up under
I
500.
thought it was going to be a good squad. I mean, they had the Norris and then,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They had the twins. What are those fools' names? I'm drawing a blank right now, but
They've actually had a lot of twins on their team.
really, that's funny.
They had the Giles brothers, the Gonzalez brothers. Oh, not twins, but sorry. They had the Giles brothers. They had the Gonzalez brothers. They had another pair. I can't remember who it was though.
Well, they probably weren't twins. They were probably brothers too.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I don't
misspoke.
recall any twins.
Yeah, I misspoke. I meant brothers. But and then they had Matt Kemp,
Yeah.
who just didn't seem to show up that year.
Not
and
that year, no.
Kind of dipped it out. Do you think not being too much of a homer for San Diego? Do you like Price being in the rotation? I mean, they
Against for LA.
yeah, because they picked him up too. Because I thought that would have been good for the Padres. I liked it as a package. I mean,
Yeah,
you would have rented Mookie, but you could have seen what he had.
You could have kept Price later on.
Right. I thought that would have been more value.
It depends on what you get out of Price each year, though.
Right.
I mean,
he is probably on the downward slope of his better years,
he's
right?
close to that. But that's another problem with San Diego is they have an elite bullpen now. They picked up Emilio Pagan from the Rays, coupled with Craig Stammen and Kirby Yates. So we got a great
6, 7, 8,
bullpen.
or
Yeah.
what is 7, 8, 9?
7, 8, 9, yeah. We got a great, bullpen there. But we don't have San Diego has this thing where like we get this starting pitchers, we bring up guys, we pick up guys from somewhere, and in the beginning of the year, like the first third of the year, they're great. And then all of a sudden, they're mediocre for the rest of the season. And we don't have a starting pitcher that's great all the way through the year. We don't have I don't want to say Kershaw because he's been up and down last.
Sure.
But we don't.
But for the most part, yeah, you need a 20-game winner.
Exactly.
Right?
We don't have any 20-game winners.
Yeah.
And and it looks like in the beginning of the year we might have a couple of those guys, but then they tail off, by the All-Star break.
It seems in baseball, a lot of the teams that start out the gate super hot never really keep it together towards the end.
Yeah.
The teams that kind of turn it off after the break are the teams that are like the pushers.
They tread water, wait until the break, and then bam, then they're uphill.
Just go off. What do you feel about the roster this year? You think if they could trade for Bryant or not get Bryant, are they still going to be competitive, you think? Because they started out great. I mean, hopefully Tatis can play a whole season.
Yeah, if Tatis can play a whole season and Machado can do what he should be able to do. Granted, San Diego is a pitcher's park.
Right.
I mean,
it's so big in there.
So, that's another thing about Betts coming to San Diego. It's like, I don't think he would have had the year at San Diego that he would have had in LA or Boston just because of the park. Yeah, he's a great player and everything, but
I think potentially he has speed, and maybe I think what is that, the Jack Daniels porch, because he hits a lot of his homers to the right,
to that little
So maybe he could have had like a lot of doubles and a lot of triples. I find that fascinating. So earlier I was recording a podcast and I was talking to a Bostonian. If you're the Boston Red Sox, do you trade him?
Betts.
Yeah,
I would not have.
right.
They have good players, but I mean, he's kind of like the linchpin right there. I mean,
Right. It's like a Derek Jeter player
Exactly,
or
yeah.
the guy from the Angels.
he's your 3-4 guy right there. I mean,
and
hard
you
to
can
get
have
line
him for
up.
10 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, and they got a couple of prospects.
Right.
And-
Well, I like so for the trade they got Alex Verdugo, and I liked Verdugo from
Yeah.
at least his fiery perspective and situational hitting. He I think he was a large component for the energy for the Dodgers down the stretch.
But is he an everyday player?
No, that was the problem. He
That's
didn't play.
exactly-
Well, the thing is, we don't know that, right? Because the Dodgers are so freaking.
Yeah,
loaded.
they had-
Jock didn't play every day, and Verdugo didn't play every day. They had massive lineups. I mean, one thing that the Dodgers are not short of is hitters.
Yeah, they were really good on the bench there. Oh, let's see. Okay, we don't have Hunter Renfroe anymore. We traded Manuel Margot. Still have Will Myers. I'm trying to predict what our lineup's going to be.
I got
here.
you. I'm thinking too. I didn't know that you guys got rid of Margot. I like.
It was
Margot.
recent, like in the last day or two.
Will Myers is the fool they need to freaking move. So maybe
Yeah,
he can relieve
he-
some cap space,
But-
or maybe put him back at first base because he's a liability in the outfield for sure. And it sucks to show how embarrassing it was because there was just some plays that looked routine that he just couldn't get, and it sucked because they go right field and they put him in left field. It looks like he was worse in left field. Which one did you think he provided more damage in right field or left field?
Oh, left field.
Right, he was horrible in left field. It just looked like folly after folly watching that poor guy play.
So I'm looking here. So I don't know if San Diego actually needs a third baseman because we could just move Machado over to third base.
I don't know why they didn't do that. I mean, do like kind of the Alex Rodriguez thing because Rodriguez played short and then he moved over. So what position is he playing? No, he is the third
he is
baseman.
the third baseman. Yeah, because
He's
Tatis
just-
is the second.
Right. Tatis.
I mean, not second. Tatis is shortstop. Sorry. Yeah.
Right. So who's their second baseman? Because I feel like they had the second baseman a platoon.
I think
last
that
year.
was a platoon. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that as a revolving door.
Greg Garcia here.
Greg Garcia was
there we
serviceable.
go. Luis Arias is supposed to be coming up and coming
Yeah. And I
if he
think
gets more
suffered-
more playing time. And then Ian Kinsler was our other guy.
And Ian Kinsler was kind of an embarrassment the way he kind of
Yeah. I mean, he
the media
was with
and the fan base.
the Angels before that, and
And he was a stand-up guy. He was with the Texans for the longest time,
Yeah.
wasn't he? And he was kind of like,
but outside of personal stuff, stat wise, he wasn't that great with the Angels before he came over to
but
us.
I think defensively he was a lock, right? Like if you're figuring like that
Yeah.
that side of the field, you're like shutting it down, and you got routine guys.
Yeah.
I it's funny. I was talking to the gentleman on the other podcast too, and we were talking about certain statistics. And I wonder if you look at it now, like if there's a statistic on ground ball pitching, because I feel like that's kind of lost its way a little bit.
You can find statistics on anything.
Sure.
I'm just not sure how to look it up
No,
myself.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, maybe instead of the Padres looking for that 20-game winner, maybe looking for guys that put the ball on the ground and
Yeah.
play. Because with Kinsler and Tatis and Machado's got a gun. I mean, he's made some unbelievable plays from third base.
He made some great plays over there.
And even when he moved over to shortstop, when Tatis went down, he made some crazy. Like, I always love that Derek Jeter move. Like
The jump throw. Yep.
the spin jump throw. They look so good, especially when you get
it
a
works,
guy.
yeah.
Not when you overthrow it, but when you get a guy, it'll be good. So who's on your fantasy wish list in the first few rounds?
In the first few rounds, my fantasy wish list. Let's see. I mean, you can't go wrong with Trout. I mean, if you,
But he's going to be a number one.
yeah, he's
overall
number
pick, right?
one pretty much overall. And then, actually, this year, if Yelich can do what he did last year, it's going to be a toss up between him and Trout for first. Let's see here.
Yeah, Yelich, what he did was unbelievable.
But I don't know if he'll duplicate that again.
I agree.
He's gotten better over the last couple
It's
of years.
very hard to do it because, like, once they get some tape on you, man, they start to really start to isolate your weaknesses and try to expose you. But I don't know. The Brewers were a really great, interesting story last year.
There's the other one, Acuna Jr.
That guy's amazing.
Oh my leadoff hitter for the Braves.
I love that dude.
Yeah,
he's great. I'm super excited for him to see him play more. I think that the youth movement in baseball might bring back a lot of more views. I don't know if you know this. I'm a big. I play The Show. You ever play that game? The MLB The Show.
No, I have not. Sorry.
It's a PlayStation exclusive game, and I have a friend of mine who works for the engineering department, or I don't even know what do you call it, computer graphics guy, whatever. whatever those dudes are. And Javi Bañez is on the cover.
Oh,
And I
that's right.
thought that was really interesting because you don't really hear Javi Bañez as like an all-star, but he is, I think, an exceptional player. And he plays second, not short, right?
Yeah, for the Cubs.
So, what are your feelings about him? Potentially, someone looking to draft him and his production through years. Because last year, I think he had like a pretty good season.
Last year I think he had a decent season. I think 2018 was his better year though.
Okay.
So let me double check that.
As you looked that up, it's really interesting for me to think about. They win a World Series. They have. I think Anthony Rizzo is a great player.
Yeah.
I think Javi Baez is a great player. I think Chris Bryant's a pretty great player. And these guys have kind of melded in some subpar seasons ever since they get in the chip. Because for a minute I thought they were stacked. I think what is it, Hayward? Hayward's another great player. And then who's the catcher / first baseman / outfielder for the Cubbies?
Oh,
The big guy just rocks home runs. He's amazing. I really, because I play with the Cubs on the show, and they have like a lot of lefties, so it favors me facing right-handed hitters. But their squad is kind of stacked. I don't know why. Well, maybe they ran into the buzzsaw called the Brewers, but I felt like they have a pretty good team.
They do, yeah. I mean, they won.
And they got John Lester. I
Yeah.
mean, John Lester's a great.
I mean, they won
pitcher.
it a few years ago.
Sure. I get it. It's just. It seems like baseball is a lot harder to do a back-to-back season.
It is nowadays.
Any other sport, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Baez had a decent season last year. He hit 280. Let's see.
I think his home run.
29 home runs.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the number that went up for him was probably the home runs because he wasn't potentially considered a hitter, with power.
Yeah,
He's a smaller guy, right?
Yeah, he plays shortstop.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's somebody you could be looking for with your shortstop theory.
So yeah, I'm.
When you do your homework on these guys, right, and you're like right now you're looking them up. What are you looking for that stands out for you that you're like, okay, this guy's gonna be solid for me when you're making your projections?
In all honesty, I don't really do a lot of homework on each individual players. When the draft starts, I go based on the games that I've watched. And where they're at in the lineup and everything, and what I've seen from them before. Like, I'm not afraid to go further down in the lineup to pick up a player I think is gonna replicate his stats the year before.
So you want somebody more consistent.
Yeah, that's what I look for is consistency. Because I hate when you get those players who they're having a down month, and it's like, well, that's just screwing my lineup because he's good, but you don't want to take him out. So you leave him in there.
The hardest thing, right? Like you just sticking with a guy for a long period of time, and it's just killing you.
That happened to me last season with Carlos Martinez. He was the opening day pitcher for the Cardinals, and for 2-3 months, all I could get out of him was maybe 5 innings. I mean, and that's not going to do it for you in fantasy baseball.
No, not at all.
And then finally, I dropped him. And then he started doing better towards the end of the season, but then he took over the closer role. So I mean,
it's standard 6 2/3 usually is that across the board for most of the guys.
If you can do 6 2/3, that's great.
What's the average that you see normally with the pitchers that you get? At least 6 innings.
I try to get someone who's going to get me at least 6 innings.
Right.
I mean I feel that's good enough because you got to go at least 5 to get the win. Yeah, so I mean that's something I've heard that they've actually might be thinking about trying to tweak. If you're so say you only go 3 innings but you leave with the lead, you're still going to be credited with the win.
Of course.
But as it is right now, you have to go 5 innings to get the win.
So if that guy comes out in 3, no runs earned, and someone else, they'll give the win in fantasy baseball to whoever that following pitcher or whoever basically finished the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Would it go to the closer potentially?
No.
How does the W go? So if he gets 3, and then the next guy goes 3-2.
It'll go to that guy, the guy who went 3 after that. So the guy who crossed over that 5th inning barrier.
So it's anything after the 5th.
Yeah.
So potentially, if you went 4 innings and a guy came in the 5th and only pitched 2 innings, the win will still go to him.
Yeah, the win will go to that guy. There's one thing that bugs me. Okay, I don't know. This has been bugging the hell out of me the last couple of years in fantasy baseball. So I use the Yahoo format, and it happened to me a couple seasons ago where one of my late inning pitchers that I had, not the closer, the guy who usually comes in like say around the 8th. He gave up the lead. So say they were whatever team was up, they were up by 1. The 8th inning guy comes in with a 1-run lead, and he gives up the lead. Now on Yahoo, they charge you with a blown save in the 8th inning. Now to me, that's not a save situation. I mean that's an opportunity to go into a save situation, but to me, a save situation is the end of the game. You know, so say you're in the 9th inning, you bring your closer in, 1, 2, 3, game over, he gets the save. Now, if he gives up runs or gives up the lead, then yeah, you know, you get credited with a blown save in the 9th. But I always thought that anything prior to the 9th inning was not a save situation. I don't know why Yahoo does it like this. If any guy, any relief pitcher, I believe, if they come in after the starter and they give up the lead, then you get credited with the blown save, even if it's not the 9th inning. And that doesn't sit right with me. I mean, it's not a save situation. You cannot be credited with a save if they maintain the lead. So why do you get credited with the blown save? I mean, it's really annoying. So I mean,
in real baseball, is it like the way you're saying, or is it?
As far as I know, I have never seen a late inning reliever that's not the closer, that's not the 9th inning guy, get credited with the blown save anytime before the 9th inning. And I watch all baseball. I watch every game when it's on, you know. I have the baseball package.
Do you get that?
So, I mean,
that's pretty cool.
It really bugs the hell out of me when, in fantasy baseball, basically, starters and closers, you don't need anybody in between. You don't need any late inning relievers. You want to get your closers, you want to get your starters, and leave it at that.
So on your roster, right, how many pitching spots do you have?
So
in a standard league, let's say.
In my league, I don't know if this is standard or not because I've only played.
Let's say, yeah.
So we get 2 starting pitchers. You know, it's labeled as starting pitcher. 2 relief pitchers, and then 4 pitcher spots. So it could be relief or starter, either one.
And then those guys, they just credited how they get stuff is just saves and losses. No. Relievers, what are the stats that they build?
Any pitcher gets the same thing. You know, they can be credited with a win, a loss, whip, strikeouts, saves, and there's one other one I'm missing.
All saves, right?
No. Saves it just comes as a negative point. So say you got 4, you get a blown save, you're down to 3. You know,
and so on and so forth.
I really wish I could bring up
your thing from last year.
From all my stuff from last year, but it won't let me access that. It's pissing me off.
Yeah, that sucks.
Just so I can show you how it looks and everything.
So you got the San Diego bias. You're not a fan of LA, but you watch a lot of baseball, right?
Yes.
Who do you think? I mean, is it going to be the usual suspects again come playoff time, or is it?
I really want to say no. I really want to think the Padres are going to do better, but I mean, they haven't gone to the postseason in 13 years.
Maybe this is lucky.
I mean, hopefully, you know, I don't see the Dodgers slowing down.
No, that's.
If anything, the Padres are going to take the wild card. You know, second. I know that's the one thing. Second wild card.
That's like I don't know if I told you my prediction or I told a lot of people last year. I'm like, the Dodgers need to win, so that way they put in cruise control and then the Padres just dominate for the rest of the time. Because I feel like that city's gonna have such a big sigh of relief that even the players, everybody's not gonna really care about doing that again. It took so much work to come back, and now, I mean, I don't even know what you do with this whole tipping pitches or, I mean, what happened? This is crazy, right? How do you handle it? You think both championships are tainted? Have to be, right?
I mean, they have to be, you know, finger quote, have to be, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, you can't take the trophy away from the Astros and give it to the Dodgers. No one's going to be cool with that. I mean, maybe... No. I really don't think anybody would be cool with that. It's gonna always be like, oh, okay, thanks. You know.
Well, so you know how you got like, because I'm kind of an older baseball guy, so you know I think it was like the 1913 Black Sox.
Yeah,
or whatever.
They have a movie about that,
right? Did they? What was the name of the movie?
I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was
I'll look it up.
John Cusack was in it.
Okay, cool. That'd be worth watching. And so just strip them. and then asterisk it.
Well, okay,
just take it away and don't give it to nobody.
So then,
because they didn't deserve to win it.
So then nobody won that year.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, yeah, you just do it like they did with the Black Sox. 'Cause they took theirs away, right?
But there was a lot more going on with that.
Sure. But I'm saying, like, if you're gonna handle it like that, I would think like there's no way that team should say championship team.
Yeah.
I think that's so unfair. If the Dodgers got like robbed, then those fools should be robbed, right? Like there's no reason why. I mean, it's crazy to think I was even a victim of it because I don't know if I watched it with you or who was at the bar at that time, but to watch Aronis throw that ball and Altuve just like kind of, they said that pitch was tipped to him.
Yeah.
He just crushed it, right? And it's just like, wait a minute, my Yanks could have went to the World Series, right? And it could have been a way better game. New York, LA. I don't know. It's hard pressed for me not to like want some kind of a justice because nobody's
a little bit, yeah. But
like in college, you get like in trouble in the sense of like maybe they take away your draft picks.
Yeah,
or, like there's no.
Did they do that with the Astros?
I don't even know.
I know people got fired and everything, but did they lose any kind of draft picks or anything like that?
I mean, but the thing is, like baseball draft.
Yeah,
like
exactly. That's really nothing.
You can take it away from me. So what? I could go sign some rock star, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, I see every year the MLB try to make it like the NFL draft.
Yeah. No.
But it just doesn't have.
It's not because they're gonna sit there and they're gonna go to AAA for like 3 years.
Right. That's the thing. They don't have an automatic impact.
Whereas in football, bam, you get drafted, you could play. That season.
Right. Then there's no like minor league to keep you kind of held back. I even think the whole minor league system is crazy because I was with a former Yankee and he was giving me a little bit of an insight and talking about how the Yankees second guess themselves on bringing up Judge. Mm-hmm. So if they second guess bringing up Judge, imagine how many great players sit in the minors forever.
Oh yeah, I imagine there's a lot.
Never coming up.
And from
sucks.
what I've been reading, Major League and minor leagues, they don't get along anymore.
Really?
Yeah, there's been like this whole thing like I just read that the Mets, they just made like a new facility, like a $57 million facility for them to use during spring training. It's only used by the New York Mets during spring training. Nobody else gets to use it for the rest of the season. It sits there for 10 months out of the year.
Is it in New York or is it in there like Tampa? Like not Tampa, but
I didn't see where it was. But the whole point of the article was they are not allowing their minor league affiliates to use that facility.
That's crazy.
And it's like, guys,
what's the point of having a minor league system? You know what I mean? Like if you're not gonna like use it and then let guys train through it and like that, I thought that would go hand in hand, right?
The whole spat right now between the two of them is, I think it just boils down to money.
Right.
Like you sit there. I mean, if you're a minor league player, you make nothing.
Right.
You gotta have a full-time job. You gotta be out there. Whereas if you're a major league player who sits on the bench 150 games out of the year, you come in every now and then, you still make like what? Is it like 400, 500,000 a year?
I don't even know.
The league minimum is somewhere like at least 350, I believe.
350,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But is that a AA guy or AAA guy?
No, that's if you're in the majors, just on the lineup.
Oh, you're talking about the league minimum for MLB.
If you're in the roster, Hell, man, I'd be trying to get in the major, the minor
all
leagues.
Day. Yeah, right. No kidding. No, because I find it fascinating because they got more games, and I think the league minimum in the NFL is like 700,000.
Yeah, it's gone up. So I mean, and that's for literally a guy who could just sit on the bench most of the game. Third string guy.
I would be a bench woman like a motherfucker,
yeah,
bro,
exactly.
for that kind of money, But yeah, that sucks that they would have all of that put together and then just like wasted and not use it. Even like giving back. Why wouldn't you let high school kids train there or college players train there or any of that? It just sucks. It just goes to show. I mean, these super mega rich guys.
Yeah. The owners
I guess
and
they
stuff
use,
like that.
they use these teams as toys, and it's just crazy to think that. Like with the scandal, I was just telling the other gent earlier. I'm like, okay, so every time you want to love baseball goes and does something.
Yeah,
pisses you off.
exactly.
Right? It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna wash my face. I got all the smudges off, and then it seems like they're like in a 5 to 7 years like cycle, right?
It's that crazy ex-girlfriend,
Right. And then I'm like, and I was explaining too. It's like, okay, 162 is painful, right? But then you get into the postseason and it's like amazing. All the games are awesome. Like the coverage is great. All the analytics and the analyzation of the game is phenomenal. But baseball can't seem to get out of its own way, and it's sad because it really is a really awesome game. I love watching baseball.
Oh yeah, I watch.
really do.
I mean, I watch it all the time. I mean, it's pissing me off every year. Me and my buddy Jake, we're like, oh man, we got to go to more games. We got to go to more games. I mean, because Charger.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Padre games are not expensive.
They're peanuts to go.
And I'm not some guy who needs to be third base, even though I've been down third base, and it's beautiful.
Of course.
But
as a fan, you should spurge a little bit once in your life.
Exactly.
A few times in your life.
But I mean, I've been, up in the nosebleeds right behind home plate, and you can still see everything.
Bro,
it's great.
I have literally been everywhere
for
in
like
that field.
$30.
And it's amazing. No, my friend, $20 gets you in the building, and that is the cheapest seat.
Yeah.
That is the nosebleed. And if you ever come to San Diego, the ushers, I might be blowing some stuff up. They're not that strict. You get in the building for $20, you could probably come down.
Oh yeah.
And also too, I think the rule with baseball is after a few innings, everybody bounces, and it's okay to kind of come down. It's like those first few innings, they're of value, but it's like the stock market. The longer the game plays, the less valuable the lower seats are.
The one thing I hate about being at the Padres Stadium is every game, doesn't matter who we're playing, it's half the opposing team's fans.
Well, first of all, let's backtrack because you let the Charger thing slip out. That seems to be anything because the Chargers are the same freaking way.
Yeah.
And baseball's horrible. When I go to a game and like I pay good money.
Yeah.
I want to see like
my
fan base there.
guys, you know? Exactly.
And then when you see it and it's like, I get pissed off. That's why I can't go to San Francisco Giants games because the whole building in San Francisco. Dodger games not happening because that's another thing.
Cubs and the Yankees.
Yep. They all show up. And even Bostonian. Like,
really? I haven't been to a Boston game yet.
I only go because I usually like taking pictures.
Yeah.
Just as fun. Just because you get to see all these different guys. The Bostonians come out in droves, bro.
Yeah.
But I think it sucks for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, San Diego is a transient city, right? So you have so many people
coming from everywhere,
so many places. I mean, I'm from New York originally, right? But I'm not the typical New York asshole, right? I'm gonna go and root for the Padres, right? I'm not gonna only go when the Mets play or the Yankees play and wear my Yankee gear and my Mets gear and fucking blow out the same. I'm living here. I'm paying taxes. I'm gonna endorse a team that I'm here for.
Paying San Diego taxes,
right? That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, hey, I'm here. Let's like. I actually. It's weird. And you tell me what you feel about this. Maybe it was a younger man's game. I don't wear any colors ever. Like the only thing I might wear is a hat and I wear a Jets hat everywhere all the time. So I don't know if that really matters, but I don't wear jerseys. You'll never see me with a jersey in a stadium. So I think it's kind of like, I don't know, a little douchebaggy when you're like, I'm like, bro, you're the visiting team. Slow down. Like, you don't need the face paint, and the hat,
that's
and
crazy.
the armband, and the wristband, and the fucking shades, and the jersey, and then it's a custom jersey. I'm like, bro.
Especially baseball because it's 162 games.
Right.
I get it with football because it's only 16 games. You got to represent every game, because it's once a week.
100%.
But baseball, it's every day, I mean.
What do you think? You think it's a faux pas to wear, let's say you're in let's say you're in a major city and you're wearing the city's jersey but not the team jersey. So if you're at we'll use the Dodgers. If you're at a Dodger game and you're wearing a Laker jersey, do you think that's okay?
No, I think that's stupid.
Right?
I've seen that a lot. I'm like, why you're at a baseball game wearing a basketball jersey. What's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, I feel like they might have not wanted to shell out the money, and so they're just like wearing whatever they have.
I mean, just put on a regular T-shirt at that point,
Yeah, for real. I couldn't agree with you more.
Going back to the minor league thing with baseball, you got to think about this. So there's about 1,200 players. It's the expanded roster for a team is 40 players. Okay, and that's I think it's in late September when they do that. When they expand the roster from 25 to 40.
You're talking about the minors, correct?
No. Majors. So it starts off 25, and then it goes to 40 with the expanded roster in September, I believe.
And is that just for playoffs, or all the teams get that opportunity?
All the teams get that opportunity in September. So that's
is that
12.
for development?
That's so you can
Try out your guys.
the playoffs are coming up. You know, you want to keep your main guys fresh. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
So let's go with 40 players. That's 1,200 individuals in the entire league. You know that are in. Sorry, I'm burping here.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good.
That's a total of 1,200 players. How many players are in all of the college games playing baseball that are trying to get to the major leagues? I mean, and how many of them? So I gotta say, I don't know the numbers. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I gotta say it's at least 7-8 times that many players in the minor league system, and most of them are not gonna make it up to the majors.
I know. I have a. Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
So I mean, that's the thing with the money issue. It's like, you know, these guys are coming from college. You know, they're stuck here in this minor league system, and they're not getting paid. So that's what the whole thing is with the.
So what is it that they get? They just get free room and board? What's the payoff of even?
They get a paycheck. Okay. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check that real quick.
Because I mean, like Russell Wilson was signed by what I forget who was the original team. I know the Yankees bought his rights, and he played a couple of games in the minors. But I guess maybe. So how many rounds is in baseball for the draft? Is it just one? The professional
baseball, you know,
baseball
I've
draft?
never watched the.
I think it's
baseball
one,
draft.
or if it's not one, maybe there's others, but they only air the first round. Because in basketball, I know it's 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And football is 7.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even begin to tell you how many rounds.
From what I'm looking at, the average AAA player makes $2,100 a month.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but
it's believable. I mean, it's not great.
No.
But I was making 2,000 bartending and not with a chance of making buco money.
Yeah. Now see,
It must be sad.
that's the thing you got to think. A lot of major league teams are worth like $1 billion,
Right.
and you're paying But then again, how many players are in that minor league system?
All right, let's see this.
So here it is, right here. The current AAA minimum is $2,100 a month, and they only get paid for 6 months out of the year too. And they receive $25 for meal money when they're on the road. So I mean, you're making at minimum you're making $13,000.
You're making like $500 a week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God. How do you shut this phone off?
Was
There you go, perfect. It's Android. I'm so sorry. It's a technology I don't understand. I am a Apple whore. I only, at least for the phone wise. So yeah. So I mean, not too bad. I would take that deal.
Oh yeah.
To play. But it's crazy to think like you'd have to probably be in the best shape all the time, right? Like
I mean, that's
I don't
not
even know how long the seasons are, right? You're on the road,
Yeah.
so you don't even get to see your fam. Actually, I have a friend, and he was struggling. It wasn't. He was having a hard time with it, and he said that a
AAA?
lot of he said a lot of it is favoritism.
Yeah.
In the sense, like the managers, end up liking a guy, and
Yep.
you just deal with shit, and it's just not. And I was just telling him, have you ever seen Trouble with a Curve or Trouble with the Curve?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's a really good movie. It's with Clint Eastwood. I'm doing it twice, name dropping it for him, but it shows a little bit. I don't know how true it is, because baseball, right? There's a lot of camaraderie. I don't think like a lot of the athletes are kind of like douchey at that level.
Yeah.
But apparently this one guy was. And so I could see how that could be, right? Like if you can see a guy and he's bombing it, you might want to start him every day, right? And like the novelty of saying like he came from this club, through the scouting system and I guess getting that recognition and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But it just seems... It seems short-lived to do all of that stuff for $500 a week, even though it's better than most boring jobs.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
play baseball for
I'd rather play baseball for $500 a week.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean,
too. With the chance, remember, and with the chance
to go. Yeah. To
Right.
make
with a potential shot of being a
So
pro.
think about this. Say you're busting your ass for 8 hours a day in a normal job. Being a bartender or something
Right.
like that. And you're making $500 a week. I imagine if you're at a good place, a bartender can make more than $500 a week easy.
Right. But on average.
But say you're working at a McDonald's. Or
Yeah, let's
something
go with that better.
Let's
Because
say
bartending, I feel, has like a little bit more extra clout.
Exactly.
Than right? Like, I think most people would be bartending than working the window at McDonald's.
yeah, exactly. So say you're at McDonald's, you're making $500 a week, which I think is a lot
Right.
for McDonald's.
Right, facts.
And then
maybe in California.
but you got to put in an 8-hour day.
Right.
40 hours a
With
week.
fools you don't like.
Yeah, with
and
people
talking to customers
and
that
you
are
gotta
terrible.
You got to deal with
Oh my
people and stuff
God.
like that. Whereas you're playing baseball all day. I mean,
Not bad.
I'm sure you get injured and everything like that. You sprain stuff, blah 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 blah. But still, you're making $500 a week to play a game. Basically, at the end of the day, it's a game.
Right.
So
I know that was it's very fascinating when you think about it in the sense of like.
Let me be clear though, I am not against giving these players more money.
For sure. I think you should
saying-
definitely raise it.
Yeah.
Especially when guys, I mean, I don't know how many stories you've heard, but I was very close to the sports circuit, and a lot of those dudes end up staying there 5 years, 10
Yeah.
years, not trying to give up on the dream.
Exactly,
And then some of them give up, and it's just like, that's like the Yasiel Puig thing is always funny to me because it's like, you show up and we're AAA and you're like 30. And it's like, wait, you're like, your thought process is like, AAA, okay, this guy's going to be like 22, but it doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah.
Like some of the dudes.
But the thing is, like, these players have to realize how many players do you hear about that are in the minor league system for 6, 7, 8 years and then get called up? I mean, at that point, I don't think if it was going to happen, it would have happened
Facts.
by now.
I agree.
But still, I would play 6 months out of the year. I'd play baseball.
Yeah. I think if you don't have a family, right, and you don't have a wife or a girlfriend that's like going to be busting your chops, hanging out with the homies. And
If you're a single guy, yeah, I mean, it's easy.
I think it's dope.
Did you see that one? It was a guy, he was thrown at the pitching machine up in Oakland, I believe it was.
Okay.
And he was like just firing it in there, and they signed him. Yeah, the Oakland A's signed him, I believe.
Well, it's so funny that you bring that up, and I keep hating to think, but Mr. Bean, that guy, man, because we were talking and we were saying on how old school the scouts are. It's very interesting to see that what Billy Bean did now kind of. Some teams are more open to take projects or to see something like that, like a guy just gunning it at a pitching situation, and then be like, "Hey, you want to pitch for us? What's up?" Because I guess it's very different in baseball, how you come up. I mean, look at the guys from Japan. Guys put in 10, 15 years in Japan, and then they come over here, right? I mean, and they play, and they get an opportunity. I find it very interesting how they work it too, because they kind of have like the soccer approach. You have to pay the club, and then you have to pay the guy.
Yeah,
which is right. I'm like, dude, how about I just pay the guy, and I gotta pay you nothing? But I guess in term, it keeps that cycle going where a club gets $50 million to keep training guys.
Here it was. The Oakland A's signed a guy. His name's Nathan Patterson, who threw 96 miles an hour at one of those little pitching things at Coors Field. This is a random dude just going up to the game. I'm sure he played somewhere else or something like that. But 96. I mean, that's crazy. Wait, Billy Bean.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, of course. That's my guy. He's amazing. He's still ahead of the scouting department. And I mean, I don't know what his official title is, but what he did with Saber Matrix has really changed things. I mean, is on base percentage stat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, that's great, right? But I mean, that's a stat in fantasy baseball, correct? No.
It can be. No, wait. I think, is that one of my stats?
Yeah, I think
that's one of my stats.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's my
Has
stat.
to be.
On base percentage, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's a huge thing. Because I mean, there's only so many things, right? You could a single, a double, a triple, a homer, and then getting on base has to be valuable.
So yeah, okay,
right?
so
because you could steal from that position.
Runs, hits, home runs, stolen bases, on base percentage, win, losses, strikeouts, whip, saves. I'm missing a couple.
That's 3 more that you have left because that's 10. You said there's 13 categories.
Yeah.
So could it be a potential that doubles and triples are on that?
No.
They
Just hits and home runs.
So basically, what we were talking about, because you've never been a commissioner for your league, there could be a potential that might be a stat that could be relinquished, but maybe that doesn't get highlighted to be used. Because I would want a triple and a double to be scored for me.
Yeah.
Right. Like the same way you have a pet peeve with the save situation.
That would change your lineup too.
Heck yeah.
If you
right, because your strategy has to change now, right?
Yeah.
'Cause now you got guys that are not as valuable right? Because
Exactly.
he doesn't hit home runs, but he hits a shitload of doubles.
we can lay out triples.
Right.
Come on, no, what the hell? I'm trying to see if I can get it on my phone here.
I'm surprised you went through the what do they call these things? I mean, I know it's a computer, but the handheld to the
I was trying to look at
desktop
when I was at home.
That's
Yeah,
what they refer to it.
When I was at home, I was trying to look up my desktop and it wouldn't let me pick it up, but I didn't try on my phone. Yeah, it's not loading, which is weird. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh wait, that's basketball.
Maybe that's what will happen.
I don't have a baseball one, or I don't have a basketball one. No, it's still not loading.
Okay. Have you ever played fantasy basketball?
I have not. I'm not a huge fan of basketball
In general?
in general. No, I've never.
What's
Really,
your position on that?
I don't know. I've just never really
Gotten into it?
gotten into basketball. Football and baseball are my sports. I think I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but I feel like hockey is soccer on ice.
100%.
I
was
feel
just talking about it. It's really hard to watch.
it is.
And I
it is.
tried. Like, because, I think when you're a sports fan, you get into this space eventually that you'll watch two roaches racing.
Yeah.
Because you want to see competition.
That's-
right?
I
You
like
know what I mean?
sports, so
Right.
I'm like,
let's try this out. I tried it. I have a problem with the 0-0 thing. Now, I can watch a 0-0 baseball game until I'm blue in the face. I can watch a 0-0 football game. I cannot watch 0-0 hockey.
No.
I cannot watch 0-0 soccer, or for the international podcasters, football.
I went to the bar the other day and they were playing a soccer game, and the announcer was like, "Oh, it's been 85 minutes and they haven't taken a shot yet." I'm like, "What? How is this fun to watch?"
Yeah, I don't get it. I have this trick, and every soccer / football enthusiast is going to kill me for this. But I think, right, because this is my strategy. If it's 3-0, game's over.
Yeah.
Right? So you know how they have that square out? I wanted to kind of bring in an element of basketball into it, that if you kicked outside the square, it could be worth 2 points.
Okay.
And I think that would change the whole strategy. Because if you were able to kick a soccer, now you're 2-3, you're back in the building. All you need is one more point and you tied it, right? Because I feel like, I don't know, I don't get soccer.
See,
I don't get it at all.
I think the reason I don't like soccer is because I'm American.
It has to be.
I mean, outside of America, soccer is huge.
Well, it's
Everybody
the biggest
loves it.
international sport
Yeah,
except for the U.S.
exactly. I mean, it's not even called soccer outside the U.S.
Right. They call it football. Right. It's crazy to think that, right? It's it's so strange.
But I tried to get into hockey a couple years ago. I met this girl, smoking hot
I was
chick.
going to say, is she hot?
Smoking hot, so smoking hot chick.
Is she hot?
And
Tell me hot.
she was a friend of my ex-girlfriend, right? And I was
I
like,
this guy already.
it
Robin, get
was
busy.
random. I called up my ex-girlfriend because we're still friends. I'm talking to her, and her friend
Still
was there.
now, too?
Yeah, still friends now.
Look
yeah.
at you.
Yeah, exactly.
What a nice guy.
But her friend was there, and she's like, "Oh, you sound hot." I'm like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" So we got to talking, and she's a hardcore hockey fan. Like, she goes out and plays Friday nights somewhere up in
I never
Poway.
heard of that.
Yeah, I
Girl
mean-
hockey player?
Yeah,
That's
she's
new.
she's
Is this Mighty Ducks 3 or Mighty Ducks 4? You got like a chick on the team?
she's a goalie and everything. But so I like, okay,
Wow,
well,
she's a good. Damn, she's really into it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
she's really
right.
into it.
Because you don't even hear about women in hockey, and then a goalie.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're taking shots. That shit's gotta hurt.
she has like all these like oh, don't be afraid, it's just rubber, all the little pucks and shit like that. So I sat down, and this was a couple years ago. She's from San Jose, so she's a Sharks fan. They went to the Stanley Cup. Yeah, Stanley Cup. And I'm trying to watch it. I'm like,
Oh, so were you watching regular season hockey
I was
or
watching
playoff?
Stanley Cup.
Wow.
I was watching the
I
Stanley
found
Cup.
it interesting. Like, I just watched the Stanley Cup last year, but I think there was more scoring, so it was more interesting. Was yours not that scoring? It didn't even matter?
I don't remember if it was or not. I'm just watching it, and I'm like, this is boring. I mean, I couldn't
Do you
get
think
into
a
it.
possibility also is the rules? Because they have a lot of fucking weird rules, bro.
It could be also I don't
Right?
understand
Because
the
like
game
the
itself.
4 and 5
Yeah.
and icing, and this fool got to get out in the penalty box. and
Now-
I'm like, this is a lot.
I also feel like it's like golf. It's more fun to be there and watch it
100%, agree.
than so I'm watching on TV. Now, if I went to a game, I'm sure I'd have fun because I'd probably go
Maybe
to
we got to do it
golf.
as a mission. We could do like a field study. You, me, and Jake. We go to the freaking goals.
Go to
and
a
we
goals game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go, and then
check it out.
see if that's a fact.
Yeah.
Is it a TV? I've heard that hockey, like in person, is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the crowd and all that stuff. Maybe we should go. I heard it's like $20 tickets and
Oh yeah, it's cheap.
$5
It's, like,
beers
right
and
up,
all
you
types
know.
of stuff.
Yeah. No, but so like I'm
watching it with Shorty?
I'm watching it.
By the way,
no,
did you close?
I wasn't watching with her.
What?
I was trying to get myself into it because she was like a hardcore hockey fan. So I was trying to like, I was doing some prep work before I started hanging out with her.
You.
was
Maybe you
like-
should have watched like a highlight reel. It could have been more interesting.
Something,
You know what I
but-
mean? Versus watching like a live game is brutal.
Yeah,
It's brutal,
yeah.
bro.
But I'm just like, oh, I just can't get in it. And she is just hockey everything.
Listen, also too, let's be honest, right? They throw hats on the field. I'm not saying hats is not a bad idea, but they also carry fish and seafood with them to games. Have you never seen that, bro?
No.
So yeah, there's an
Mayo. I saw some chick like eating a big chub of mayo at a hockey game.
I don't even know what's happening at this thing, but they throw octopuses on the floor.
What?
Yeah, like somebody will literally. I've never understood how did you get through security
With an octopus.
seafood? Yeah. So there's like all this. You got to check it out. They throw all kinds of stuff.
That's crazy. I've never heard
So
of
they're a
that.
very interesting subgroup of sport
Yeah.
fan that you could never imagine. But for the most part, I mean, so I think I watched all of the Stanley Cup last year, and I think a large portion of it was I forget who was playing the Blues because the Blues won, but I forget who was it. But it was interesting and it was exciting, and like I was hanging on every swings. I don't know. I gotta ask my guy because one of my next podcasts is he's a hockey coach, so I gotta ask him what it's called when you swing.
Yeah, what's it called when you do this? I don't get it. But
is it called a slash? Like what is the word to swing a hockey stick? But yeah. He was actually I was at his house and he was showing me how to handle it.
yeah.
And apparently like you bend it to move it. Like that's how you get like the traction to like launch it.
Okay.
So you don't just hit it. You kind of hit it, but you bend like the middle part of the hockey stick to kind of give you that more speed.
You're like slapping it. You're like
Right. You're flicking
Yeah.
that action. Yeah. And so, because I was like, I thought you just swing the damn thing. He's like, no, bro. When you're really good, this is what you do.
This is another thing I've done. I've tried to keep up on hockey. Try to watch a few games here and there. And where did the stigma come? Or not so much as a stigma, but where did the belief come that hockey players are tough?
Because they don't have teeth, bro. And they wear no fucking face mask to play a game that they do is beat each other. Oh, and that too. I think the fighting.
It's because they allow them to fight.
Right, 100%.
Whereas in football, if you allowed a person to fight, I think there'd be some deaths. But
Well, first of all, I've never seen a hockey guy out of a jersey, but if you take a football player out of a jersey, most of those dudes are shredded. I've never seen a shredded hockey player.
Yeah.
I don't know what like you see all these guys, right? Like, so baseball players have these regimens and football. You don't never see a YouTube channel like how to be a great hockey player, and like they give you like this list of bench pressing and like I don't even know what qualifies you in the hockey draft, because in the NFL you gotta like bench press so many. You gotta have a 40-yard dash. Like, do they have a 40-yard dash with skates? Right? Like, do you have to know how to like ice skate backwards? Like, what are the qualifiers?
I have no
You
idea.
have a vertical like.
now, to all the hockey fans out there, I'm sure they know all of this.
Oh, for sure they do. I can't wait till we post this and this show starts to get some traction and just like rip us to shreds for our mediocre hockey knowledge. But it's okay because I have an answer for you guys. I am getting a hockey coach on this, and maybe he can help me with some of this because I have no clue.
No idea.
No clue.
idea.
Another thing that I think also too that hamstrings hockey is that it's not on major networks. I think if you've seen it on a major network,
unless it's a
maybe you've seen
postseason.
it more and more and more.
Yeah. Unless it's the playoffs.
Might be right. No, not even playoffs. No. So they have NBC Sports. Who the fuck watches NBC Sports? Nobody.
No.
Right. So you don't have it on. First of all, the immediate person I would talk to. So you're telling me that UFC's on ESPN, but hockey's not on ESPN? Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What are the contracts you're signing? So I think for them, it's from a marketing standpoint, I think it would be better if once a week or something like. I think they have like a couple of games on ABC, but that's a couple.
Yeah.
And it's not enough for me to like be interested. Like, I'm just like, I mean, like I said, I watched it. Being a bartender, you have to be really versatile.
Yeah, you see a lot of things going on.
And so I have to incorporate, like when I was in Brooklyn bartending, I had to become a tennis fan and a golf fan because tennis.
Really, tennis?
Yeah, because so in Queens they have the U.S. Open.
Okay.
And so, believe it or not, man, New Yorkers are really, really, really savvy when it comes to sports. Not just with the major three.
Yeah.
But tennis, and I mean, I think I only know what, like, an ace. I couldn't even tell you any other tennis category.
Yeah.
Besides a win or a loss, or maybe a set. I got that word. If I was in charades
Ace,
or categories or something like that,
like
that I had to like pick up shit.
15 love, 30 love. And a lot of
That's good. That's good because I don't know that.
I've learned from Mario Tennis back in the day.
Listen, bro. You know how much stuff I know from playing video games?
Yeah, exactly.
I used to play FIFA.
Exactly.
And like playing FIFA, I'm like, hey, I know what, like a slide. And I still get confused with the yellow card, red card bullshit. I don't even know what the fuck that's
You know what's
about,
crazy? As much of a sports fan as I am, I don't like playing sports video games.
Really? I know, I find that weird. But I think that that's another subculture. Not only is it a subculture, I think that it's a weird guy thing. And what I mean by that is, I don't think it's about competition. I think it's about a satisfaction of getting better. I think that if you're a really crazy person like me, right? Like I'm a crazy person. If I buy... video game I think is also culture. Like if you grew up playing it, usually it kind of lingers, and then it depends. If you get a girlfriend and she hates it, you might get rid of it. Or if your mom is yelling at you in your fucking basement and she's like, "Get a real job," you probably like. So everybody kind of like, for the most part, let's say 80% of people keep video games below 18. You played video games when you were a kid, right?
I still do. I still play games.
But you don't play no sports games.
No, I don't play any sports games.
But you play PlayStation, Xbox games?
I'm Xbox guy.
Okay, and then?
I play RPGs. I'm big on like Final Fantasy, those kind of games.
No offense. I love you, Robin, but I hate those fucking games.
Those games that take 500 hours to finish.
No, I just... You know what's one of the things that I hate? I've always hated it about role-playing games, and maybe it's because I have the hangover of Final Fantasy, but it's like, swipe. Miss. Category. Potion. Sword. Fix. Shield. Okay, hit. Miss. And then the guy swings, and I'm like, fuck this.
So you should try out the game called Dark Souls.
What about Devil Cry? I heard that
Devil May Cry is fun. I play that too.
That's our RPG, right?
That's an RPG-ish.
Okay.
You know,
because you have more control. So I know it's a role-playing game, right? For you, what considers a true role-playing game? Like, what are some of the aspects that you need to have for it to be a traditional style?
A traditional role-playing game is a. You got your main character. You start off. You build up your team.
Right.
You recruit. You pick up other players. You level up, you got your little skill tree where you get favorite stuff, You got your open world where you're going through places, trying to find, to get to the end and everything. And then, a lot of them were like, okay, so there's the main storyline, but then there's also all these side things you can do and all this other extra stuff. And as the years have gone on, that extra stuff that you can do outside of the main story has just increased exponentially. Have you
played the Old Republic? Are you a Star Wars fan? Because that was like
I've wanted
to RPG.
There's a lot of games I've wanted to get into, like Warcraft and the Star Wars online games, but I feel like I play too much and I don't need to add. We
were just talking about Madden, right? And how for Madden, you have to make love to it 7 days a week.
Yeah.
A lot of those games, bro, you get so addicted and you get so in. Like, you forget about your girlfriend. You forget about jerking off. You forget about eating. Like, you just... How cool is it, though, to have a world that someone created that you could just immerse yourself in? And, bro, I'm a video game junkie. The only thing that's never piqued my interest is a true RPG game. Because I think RPG games, there's elements now in all games like that, right? Like, I just played The Amazing Spider-Man, and it was a phenomenal game by Sony, and they had, the main...
The RPG aspect to it, exactly.
You got to talk to this person and that person, and you kind of develop your character, and you got the same thing with the tree.
You've heard those stories of guys who sat there for 40 hours straight and died because it developed a blood clot in their leg from not moving for 40 hours.
Well, dude, let me tell you something, because I have an addictive personality, but your hands start to crimple up because you're holding the controller for so long.
Yeah,
I've had it where my right thumbstick finger, I get crazy, and it starts to get like laser burn right here because I press that shit so hard. Or now, because the controllers are so in depth, right? What is it? R3 and L3 because you toggle in. So if I gotta be toggling, like if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, I gotta run faster, so I gotta press in. But there's no button. I wish they just had it old school where you could just tap X like a mofo.
I remember the days when all you had was 2 buttons.
Come on, baby.
Mario Brothers.
First of all, my favorite saying in the whole wide world is cheat code. Up, down, left, right, A, B.
The universal cheat code.
Come on, baby.
Yep.
Right? And dude, so Nintendo... So this is so funny because I have kids now. Remember this?
Yep.
You're not even doing
it. You're jumping.
You fucking... it was before... I wonder if Nintendo watched people and decided to make... the motion,
the Wii,
right?
Yeah.
Because people like when you see novice girls, I make fun of my girl all the time. My wife, she plays Call of Duty with me, and she's
I
she
can
goes
imagine.
like, she goes like this, and I'm like, babe, you know that doesn't really like move the camera,
It doesn't
right?
do anything.
I think though you got to get disciplined as a player
Yeah.
that you don't move it because your body. It kind of gets weird where the jerk.
You know what I find hilarious about video
I'm
games?
so glad we got into this subcategory. I'm stoked right now. I'm getting excited.
What I find hilarious about video games is they now but they now play tournaments and stuff. You know, they've always done that.
What do they call it now? What's that? Is it,
EA Sports. You know,
there's a esports.
Esports
is the category. Like now it's professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Like these are pros.
That's what I'm saying. They play this shit on ESPN. I've seen video game tournaments on ESPN.
What was it? That kid $3 million for Fortnite, or was it more?
Yes,
Right?
something like that.
Some shit like that.
What I find hilarious is I'm watching these commercials where they're advertising these tournaments, and these guys who look like they've never seen daylight are acting like they're such hard asses because they're playing a video game. I'm like, guys, you're sitting there with a controller and like people are getting pissed off at each other. They're throwing shit. I'm like,
I'll tell you though, if you've never played like a game with a fucking mic, bro, it gets intense because
Yeah.
I'm ready to chop something.
Oh yeah,
I get it, but I get it and I understand your side of shit because I mean I'm like, dude, I got a job. Put the controller down and shut off the system. I gotta go. But when you're like this like a video game tough guy and you're talking shit through the mic, it's like, listen, bro, relax before you give me the address to your house and I really come and kick your ass.
Exactly.
Right? Like relax, dude. But it's crazy to see like that whole element because we're talking about sports and now this whole thing is starting to come even more so where people are making like imagine in like whatever 10 20 years where that might be the new sport, right?
Yeah.
Where maybe VR, like maybe Oculus goes fucking ham, right? And then now these guys get competitive and all this other shit. I mean, I think I talked to a dude and he was saying like they work out and like they have regimens and like they eat right and like, it's crazy.
all right, so let's dial back.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned UFC on ESPN earlier. Did you see the John Jones fight?
Okay, I did not. And I have some reserve feelings about John Jones in particular. But I want to hear you because you watched it and stuff. I totally forgot it was on. I seen it, but I forgot. I got busy with the XFL because it was free on YouTube.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you like that? Okay, go ahead.
So Jake and I we got the game Saturday night. We were
You fools got to invite me over. I would love to.
Yeah. It's like
No, just heads up, put you forward.
We've been wanting to do that, just like invite people over and hang out and stuff. Because
I'll put some money down for some, food.
it was $70.
Fuck.
It was crazy.
Just tell me that it went more than one round for John Jones.
Oh yeah, it went the distance.
Perfect. At least that's worth the value. Go ahead.
There were some good fights leading up to that.
I think the prelims are where the money's at. To be honest,
there was some
the
really
main
good
events
fights.
always let you down.
There was this Russian girl. It was hot. It was hot, by the way.
How did she have her hair that she just tied up?
She had no. She had the rows going. She had the corner, but she dominated her fight. But
with the hands or she went grappling style?
with the hands. It was a
That's
standout
always
fight.
hot.
That was the co-main event.
Okay.
So then John Jones and I can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah. No offense to you, bro, but
Yeah,
you're not that important, bro.
By the way, no. He won that fight. He totally.
What?
No, John Jones lost that goddamn fight.
First of all, okay, while you look that up, John Jones. Okay, let me first by saying this.
Reyes. There you go.
I don't like throwing professional athletes under the bus because I totally understand how difficult it is. But I think John Jones is a fucking poser, and I don't think he should be considered the best. According to Joe Rogan and Joe, I love you. We can argue. I'm not as smart as you, but to say that he's the greatest UFC fighter of all time, negative.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Fuck you. I'm so sorry.
John Jones, Dominic Reyes. Reyes dominated the first 2 rounds.
Standing or
Standing
on the
up,
ground?
Standing up. There was no takedown really. There was nothing on the ground. It was standing up. Dominic Reyes dominated those first 2 rounds. The 3rd round, he did not dominate as much, but he clearly won the 3rd round. 4 and 5 was clearly John Jones. John Jones picked up speed. He's gone the distance before. This is for Dominic Reyes's. I believe he's never done a 5-round fight like this before. But John Jones does them all the time. He's always defending his title. John Jones won 4 and 5. So it should have been
a split
3-2. 3-2. There is one judge.
Do they have ties in the UFC? Like if
no.
They usually.
I want to say no,
right?
But it's not impossible. It doesn't happen often, but it's not impossible.
Okay, I didn't even know if that was a stat in the scorecard.
There was one judge who gave 4 rounds to John Jones. I mean, and it's one of those things.
It reminds me of boxing. There's a lot of favoritism, man.
That is the thing.
There's no bias.
The judges who were judging this were boxing judges.
Really?
They were not MMA. I don't know if there is an MMA judge that strictly does MMA.
Well, we got to do our homework. For
yeah,
the next
we
podcast.
have to do our homework.
We'll start to. We'll get smarter on
these
the UFC.
judges were boxing judges. They were not other sport judges.
That's so random.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you not a mixed martial art judge.
Yeah,
right.
And they weren't. Yeah, exactly. That they were not a mixed martial arts judge. They strictly boxing.
So based on just to pause you real quick, just because if they're boxing guys, right? I used to be a big boxing fan. Was from throws to landing on these 5 rounds, who landed and threw the most? Was it Jones?
No, it was Reyes.
Really?
The first 3 rounds, Reyes landed the more punches.
Wow.
And then 4 and 5, it wasn't like a huge jump between. It was a switch though. John Jones landed more because the Dominic Reyes he looked gassed. He'd never gone 5 rounds.
Listen, 5 rounds in anything is a lot. I can't even do 3 rounds and I'm punching.
So it's 5-minute rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who's never fought before, this is pissing me off. If you ever watch a UFC fight, you see these players. You see these fighters, they get up against the cage and they look gassed and they're holding each other. And you hear the crowd start to boo. That pisses me off.
I agree 100%.
Because most of these people in the stands have
You're a
never
fat bitch
fought.
who all drinks Bud Light and you haven't... No. Listen, even if you wrestle for 2 minutes, bro, or spar by yourself for 2 minutes hardcore, you're so winded. Imagine being in a third round of that kind of match.
Me personally, I have done fights. I've done,
that's right. I forgot. That's
exactly,
we're gonna get into that. I want to get into that a little bit about
trained,
you.
I've done some exhibition rounds and everything like that,
It's not easy, bro.
The level from going from just hitting the gym to sparring with somebody, to training with somebody, to actually getting into the ring with somebody, it's exponentially different. And when you get these assholes who are out there booing because these people are gassed after 15 minutes of fighting, like, you don't know.
They're not smart.
No. It's like, stop booing these people because this is not easy.
I also think too, let's say, what is it? Let's round it up. It's 250 UFCs, right? Let's say that. Yeah, I don't think the culture is long enough for them to be smart fans, right? So baseball, we have 100 years. Football, we have 100 years. Basketball, we have 100 years. These fools have been in the building for maybe 10 years, so they don't understand the nuances, right? Like,
no,
dude,
they don't.
when you're in the clinch with someone, or when you're trying to like elbow. That's one of my favorites. When they're clinching, they're shoving it. Like, dude, this is very technical. You're just not gonna. You can't swing like that.
Yeah, exactly. You hear the announcers say all the time, like, "Oh, this takes a lot of energy out of you," and to the people in the stands who are booing, you have no idea how much energy this takes out of you. I mean, I've gone 3 rounds and could barely breathe after 3 rounds.
Bro, when I was a young kid, I used to do judo and jujitsu. We used to do, I think it's called newaza, which is just grappling. By the second guy of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I couldn't even pick up my arms. My forearms were so like blown out and so swollen that I was like, all right, look, I'll just hug you. You're just trying to like see if you can get something. But it's let alone a guy that's swinging at you, kicking you, choking you for 5 minutes for 5 rounds. Shucks.
Yeah, for roughly almost a half hour. I mean,
fuck.
It just bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're not. To me, the UFC, as great as it is, and as great as Dana White is, and as great as so many people that have come through it, the fan base is very young in their mindset of what the expectation of a fight is. This is not a boxing fight. No. This is not Muhammad Ali versus Frazier, bro. Like, I don't know where you're at, and I don't know how much you spent for your ticket, but you're a complete moron because you don't understand what's going on. Now, I think also too. It's a little bit on the ref to keep the tempo up, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're gassed, bro, gassed.
But see, the ref will do that when you're not doing anything.
You're gassed.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? You're tired. And I think that's where a lot of the wins come, right? Where a guy makes a mistake, you get the guillotine. A guy makes a mistake, you get an armbar. You know what I mean?
A lot of the wins come from who's got the better cardio, who can go the distance.
And I think, like, from you training, right? I don't mean to interrupt you. You can train all the cardio, right? It's still not enough cardio.
No, it still doesn't feel like it's enough. I mean, there are fighters out there, I mean, who are just, I mean, you got to say they're born gifted. Because to go a half hour, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried to do that, and I mean, I'm a kind of guy who I need to knock you out in the first round. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fall on top of you after that.
It was that like your field of expertise. You was more of a striker than a grappler.
Me
Primarily?
No, see,
Because we never really talked about this. I've always found this fascinating about you. You have like this secret agent double side. Because, you know, you look at you, and I'm not saying that, look, whatever. You look a little yoked. You look like you spend some time in the gym, but you're also a sweetheart, right? And you usually when I think of fighter, I think of asshole. Because I've met fighters.
Yeah,
and they're usually jerks, right? But you're so nice and you're so eloquent and you're so spoken that when I see you, I'm like, fighter, okay. But please, elaborate.
See, trust me, you're not the first person to think that. Me, I'm the kind of fighter who's I'm gonna take every punch you're gonna give me. I have an iron jaw. I can take everything you can get me. I do not have fast hands, so I need to. And also, I don't have distance. I have no reach whatsoever.
Listen, you're a little smaller than me, but my reach is crap too, bro.
But
I get it.
For someone my height, I'd have to drop almost 60 pounds to get into my weight class.
What's that weight class?
About 145.
Okay.
So what's it?
Feather? Yeah, right.
I have to get down almost 60 pounds to get into featherweight to fight people who are my height.
Right.
Now, currently, I would be fighting light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. In the MMA format.
Exactly, in the MMA format. And that's just crazy to me. I mean, I would do it.
Are you a jiu-jitsu guy?
No. I'm not. I'm Muay Thai and boxing. I haven't done a whole lot of jiu-jitsu. My ground game is not strong. I haven't done a whole lot of that. I'm a stand-up striker.
So tell me more about this. How did it all start? Like, did you do so martial arts is weird because I feel like when you say martial arts now, everybody thinks BJJ, right? So, were you like a young boxer when you were a kid and then got into Muay Thai? I love Muay Thai, by the way. It's the most effective. Yeah. It's a street fighting form of fighting.
I've always been like, I've always liked fighting, you know, like I love martial arts movies and stuff like that. Action
favorite martial art movie.
Favorite martial arts movie.
That's not Asian. Let's go quick on the American side. Maybe that might be easier.
Here. Mortal Kombat. I gotta say,
that was a horrible movie, but okay.
That was a great movie.
Oh my god, it was great. First of all, the soundtrack was phenomenal, but the acting was terrible.
They're actually coming out with a new movie.
I know, but it's a video game. It's a cartoon, though.
No. They're coming out with a movie.
Well, just so you know, they're also coming out with the
Scorpion's Revenge.
It looks pretty fire. I'm gonna watch it.
I'd have to go through my memory of movies, action movies and stuff that I like.
Okay, how about favorite martial artists? During the time you were watching movies when you were a kid.
I love Jet Li. Jet Li is I'm a huge.
You know what?
Jet
I'm
Li
gonna give you first of all Wushu champion.
Yeah.
Right. And Wushu, if people don't know what Wushu is, you can look it up. But that's all the kung fu styles.
Yeah.
I always like Jackie a little bit more than Jet, but Jet was the kind of guy that was gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, exactly. There was no doubt
Jackie
about
Chan.
it.
He was like a funny dude. He might do some flips. Jackie Chan is gonna bust your ass.
You know where Jackie Chan learned his martial arts, right?
He was hold on, let me see if I get this right. He doesn't even know martial arts technically. He's kind of like a dance guy, right? It's like an opera.
He learned it in a ballet school.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was an orphan, right? His parents sold him to an orphanage that used to do shows.
Yeah.
Jet Li, I think, is like official.
Yeah.
Like I'll fuck you up, shit.
So, it was like my mid-20s. My buddy and I, we were going around looking for gyms and stuff like that. We wanted to get into boxing.
Go ahead, keep talking. Is that okay? We get a refill?
No.
There you go. Tell me the story.
So we just go into Undisputed at the time.
Ooh, okay,
so
I like that.
We go to Undisputed. This was 12 years ago. And I wanted to go in there just to, because one, I hate running. That is like the thing I do not like to do. So I was looking for another form of cardio. So I'm like boxing. I like to punch things, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we got into a boxing gym, or not just a boxing gym. Right. And at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a couple classes here and there, but I'm gonna mainly focus on the weights. And then one of the guys, he approached me. He went by Frank the Tank. He was actually a professional fighter.
Not Tank Abbott.
No.
And not what's that guy from Old School, right?
No. So Frank the Tank, I can't remember what his last name was. So
let's go with that. We gotta get him some love. I gotta look that fool up more at least.
So he
podcast.
So he got me into doing the MMA and boxing. I was training 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I do an hour of weights. I do an hour of boxing or Muay Thai, and I was down to the slimmest I've ever been.
Were you yoked to fucking abs
I felt
and chest
it, yeah. I had it.
Tickets to the gun show and everything?
I'm 40 pounds heavier now than when I was training like that. But that was also 12 years ago. So,
Right. And also, not only that, you were in your fucking 20s. When you're in your 20s, you're like a rock star.
Exactly. It's
Life
crazy.
is amazing.
I
when you're
could
in
eat
20s.
whatever
Right.
I want, and I was,
Well,
whatever.
it almost seems like what you eat just goes straight to your muscles versus like to the gut and shit, right?
So I did that for like 5 or 6 years, and then the gym closed. And for like another 5 years, I stopped training. Mm-hmm. And then now I went to...
Arena?
No, not Arena. It's over on Midway.
I was close.
Yeah,
right?
you're real close.
It's right there.
Victory.
Oh, okay.
Victory. I went there for a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually gonna go back there.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't mean to challenge you. Not that I would ever fight you, or whatever. But I wanted to go to the one. What was the one I just mentioned?
Arena.
Yeah, because they have like a whole deal, and I used to do Muay Thai for a little bit. I never got great enough to do it, but I got a sick sidekick. If I could like keep working it, I definitely, for someone that would suck in a fight, I would probably destroy your kneecap.
So my issue is like I want to get back into fighting, but the problem is I probably have to drop around 60 pounds. I've never been that small.
So I'm about to pull a Tony Robbins on you, bro. Like, where you at, man? Like, what's holding you back, baby? It's 2020. You and fucking Jake. Let me tell you, motherfuckers. I'm so glad I got you on this goddamn podcast because maybe I could be like an enlightening soul to get you guys motivated because I feel like you dudes are fucking on the sidelines. And I am too.
We procrastinate a lot.
Bro, listen, I just hit the score thing. It said awesome procrastinator. I was like, fuck you. Like, it had all this cool stuff and then it was like procrastinator. I didn't give a fuck about whatever else it said. I was like, procrastinator, it's hard.
I don't think I've been 145 since middle school.
How much you weigh now?
I made
Don't be embarrassed.
201.
But damn, that is
Yeah.
for your height.
Exactly.
But you look good though.
But
you look proportioned. Like you don't have like
That's
a
the
huge
thing.
belly. You don't look like you're out of. You look good.
I hit the weights a lot.
Oh.
So to give people some perspective, I'm 5'5" on a good day.
Right.
So I'm 200 pounds right now.
Yeah, that might not even be healthy, right? Like
I don't feel bad,
But I think you have like a pretty good life. You don't smoke like that.
I don't smoke or drink, but I eat a lot of fast food.
You do drink, but
oh, sorry, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you do
I don't
drink.
know why I said
think
that.
you're gonna say. I think you felt like saying drugs.
Yeah, I don't smoke. I don't do drugs.
Yeah, you're clean
but
for the most part.
I eat fast food.
What's your favorite fast food?
I eat Jack in the Box a lot and El Cotijan.
El Cotijan. What is that? The Middle Eastern?
It's a Mexican. No, it's Mexican. It's a Mexican food place over on Balboa and Genesee.
Tacos or California burrito?
California burrito, or I like to
best.
get the Diablo shrimp burrito.
That sounds fire.
It's just shrimp,
Literally.
shrimp, rice, and cheese, and Diablo sauce.
Sounds great. Okay.
But I eat that shit. I mean, I've had days where I've had fast food 3 times a day.
Right.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
That almost hurts your pocket too.
It does. It really does. I don't think about it.
It hurts.
But when you're
especially
dropping
here in California, like I feel like in New York, fast food is cheaper, but here it's like an average of $15 per value meal. Let's say whatever you get the category.
Yeah. So I mean, like my burrito cost me $11. If I get like something from Jack in the Box, it's probably about $8-9.
So you think what, $30 a day?
Yeah.
You could take $30 to the grocery store and probably get food for a couple of days.
For the week probably if I stretched it. So that's my thing. I have to cut out all that crap.
Okay, so I'm gonna fucking motivate you, bro.
I like sugar.
Okay,
I drink soda.
I do too.
I snack a lot, but my snacks are never like
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was this? What's like a favorite snack that you get? Kit Kat,
cookies,
M&Ms?
cookies, Pop Tart, shit like that.
Okay, so cookies, what? Chocolate chip or does it matter?
That doesn't matter. Cookies, Oreos.
Cookies are fire.
Man, my house, we just polished off like 8 boxes of fucking Girl Scout cookies.
What's up? By the way, East San Diego motherfuckers love Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
I got like 10 in here. I've never. Can I tell you something? I've never had a Girl Scout cookie in my life.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna have one. But my wife bought like 4 or 5 from those fools. I'll throw you down some if you want some. But it's just so crazy to think that. So you're just saying that your diet is not great. It could
My
be better.
diet is horrible. Now, if I can get my diet under control, I could drop 20 pounds real quick.
100%.
100%. And I took an office
Actually, you know
job
what I
for-
think? I don't even think it's your diet, bro. So let me real quick. I'll just to keep it going. So I stopped drinking. This is my first beer in a week, right? And so I just went. I went back to the gym because I was getting mad because I was like paying $40.
Yeah.
and I was there for like 3 months and I didn't fucking go no days.
Yeah.
So for 2020, I was like, look, this is no more excuses. Let's get it done. And so I stopped drinking. Bro, if you stop the beer, bro.
Well, that's
so
just
much
it.
of the weight goes down.
That's just it. I drink maybe once a week.
Wow. So
Yeah,
definitely,
it's definitely the
it's
sugar.
probably no, I think it's probably because it's dough. It's just, it's the carb intake
Well,
that you're having, right?
Well,
You think?
I don't. No. I think it's the processed sugar. Because when I say I like sugar, I'll drink 3, sodas a day,
Shit.
and then I'll polish off a sleeve of Girl Scout cookies real quick. And then I'm sitting there like,
Oh my God, you're
I'm sitting there
hilarious.
at home. I'll have like some frosted Cheerios, and just,
Right. So yeah,
So-
damn, your diet is rough, cuz.
so think about it this way: a can of soda is roughly 78% of the recommended
Sugars for the day.
sugar for the day.
Uh-huh.
Like on a holiday, I'll drink a 6-pack.
Wow.
Exactly.
And I'm a guilty pleasure too guy because I love ginger ale, and I like to have like if I'm having a good meal, I want a little ginger ale. But
Yeah.
I don't really beast on soda outside of that for the most part.
I'll have days where I'm just like, I need Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper's my thing. And I'm just
that's
like,
your-
fuck, yeah, it's my drink. And, so we'll come out, we'll have some drinks, and everything. And then I'll go home. I'm like, all right, man, I'm not really hungry, but I'm going to grab a burrito and a Dr. Pepper. And, especially when I'm drinking, I'm like, oh, fuck, let's just fucking fill up. So, I mean,
Well,
that's
first of all, the binge eating you do when you're lit is
Exactly,
fucking nuts. You know what I mean? All right, so check it out. Let's put it down. That way it's in stone. So victory, when you gonna sign back up, bro?
probably within the next month or so.
Okay. Is it busy schedule or what?
No. Finances right now. I'm actually in between jobs because we're closing up my shop. I'm looking for something new to do. This right here, Jake and I were trying to get our shit going.
Listen, I tell you guys, let's get it popping, bro. I feel like there's a bunch of guys that have dreams, man, and we're just sitting on the effing sideline, and we need to get it, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in.
No.
I'm in. I totally get it. So, how much is the victory membership?
Oh, I was paying $85 a month.
That's kind of.
But all the classes.
No, I get you. It's great. It's
yeah.
great. But when you start to do the math, and $80, excuse me.
It's 85 if you just go there to take like one class a week or something like that. You're not getting your money's worth.
Not at all.
But if you go there, they offer
It's
boxing.
unlimited.
Yeah,
You could beast.
boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu,
That's what I
wrestling,
see with the arena, bro. It was like they had all that shit, and I was like, bro, I could go all day.
CrossFit.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So they have like
So it's like a
7 or
regular
8.
gym
Yeah,
and kind of a martial arts
they,
gym.
they have a weight room and everything like that. They have like 7 or 8 different classes you can take. Oh, also I wanted to say do you watch Ultimate Fighter at all?
That's the reality show, right?
The reality show. They have
used
two.
to be called UFC. Yes,
They have 2 teams.
I used to watch it in the beginning, and then now I hate reality TV because they say it's fake. I mean, they say it's real, but it's fake.
Yeah, it's totally.
Because it's
fake.
staged.
I've never watched reality TV, but one of my trainers was Frank Lester.
And he's now
He
a
was
coach?
on. No. He was on one of the seasons of Ultimate Fighter. It was U.S. versus UK.
Uh-huh.
He was on the U.S. team. Frank Lester. Biggest thing I can say, he had spiderweb tattoos on his elbows.
Okay, cool. I
but-
probably, we'd have to spend more time researching.
I was actually
this stuff.
I was pretty stoked because he was on there when I was training with him, and this was like
It was like validation. Like,
Yeah, it's like-
I'm like one. It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'm 1 degree away from this guy.
And then I remember one night I was out the poker room with Jake, or not Jake at the time. He doesn't play poker. I was at the poker room and they were playing some sports shit on the televisions. And one of my other trainers, a short little Filipino guy with a tattoo on the back of his head, can't remember his name. He was up there, but he lost. I'm like, that hurts. When one of my trainers.
So what do they do now? Because from what I remember, they had a bunch of guys in a house, right? And they have the teams,
Yeah.
right? And then what happens? These guys fight each other, and then it's kind of like a prelim where it gets
So,
to like
yeah,
the
if
last dude that survives.
If you
It's
lose,
kind of-
you get eliminated, and the last survivor basically gets
and then what?
contract.
Do both teams train together, or they train separately?
They train
in camps?
separately. They train separately, basically.
And then every week or weekend, like at the end of the season, not season, but at the end of the show,
Yeah.
one person's fighting and they're going.
There's
on
a lot.
and
There's a
on.
lot of fighters that still fight that were on Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, that was actually a really good because we just finished talking about minor leagues and I just told you about the XFL. I thought it was really smart of them trying to create kind of like a minor league system for them to kind of cherry pick guys.
The first
to,
season,
make it
like
popular.
the first season, bugged me though because this was a while ago. I can't remember.
Yeah,
how
I think
long.
it
was like 15 years ago at least. Yeah,
because that's when I started getting into it when it was kind of big.
There was one guy, Chris Lehman or something like that. he lost his fight, so he's eliminated. Cried like a little bitch and got put back on the show because he was crying. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Wow.
But at the end of the season, they end up giving everybody a contract instead of just the one person who like rose to the top. So it was like
cool.
it was like 16 people got
That's not bad.
a UFC contract.
That'd be interesting to look back at it. Out of the 16, what were the records? And out of the 16, not only the records, how many of those dudes had like a successful career?
Yeah.
You know? Because a fighter's life is tough, bro.
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about major league or minor league baseball players and how that you don't get paid shit to fight.
Nope.
Forget about the
Not even close.
$2,100 and the 25 day per diem for food. You get nothing. It's a really, really. I mean, I think I just watched. I didn't just watch it, but let's say within recently the Conor McGregor reality thing.
Oh, I hate him.
I am not a fan.
I hate Conor McGregor.
First of all, I can't wait to fucking fight. Conor McGregor, you're.
Oh, wait, no.
I need you to fight Diaz again. I just need you to fight Diaz.
See, that's the
and then
thing.
we'll see what
I don't
happens.
like Diaz either.
I don't care, but he can't beat Diaz. That's what I know.
Well, also, he just fought Cowboy Cerrone.
So what? So this is the thing. I see this YouTube video and it's like the comeback tour. I'm like, what comeback tour?
Yeah.
He's a millionaire who fought a boxer.
Oh, he's
and
blowing.
retired.
He is blowing through that money like crazy.
You think so?
Yes.
What? Fucking his own Irish whiskey? I thought they give it to you free when you're the ambassador or the what do they call that when you're in charge of the merch? A brand ambassador.
Yeah. Well, no, with private jets and shit like that, I'm sure in like 10 years he'll be broke.
I
And
didn't even think about that.
they scheduled the Cowboy Cerrone fight with him.
Poor Cowboy Cerrone.
Cerrone's on the out.
Right,
I mean,
he's 20 years in, guy, and
Yeah.
you get him like a mop wash-up fight. I
Yeah.
was so pissed. I was like, come on.
the fight went for what, 40 seconds?
Yep.
Yeah.
If that,
Yeah.
because 40 seconds about it took for them to walk to each other. You know what I mean? Because I think it was like a punch or a head or a knee to the head or something like that. He dropped and he gave him a couple ground and pounds.
And that was it,
over.
yeah. So, I mean, you schedule a fight. I want to see him
At
fight.
least Jones went to the fucking distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause I thought actually the fight prior to this that Jones fought, it might have been another fight because I haven't been in a while, but I think it was the last fight Jones wasn't looking good.
Mm-hmm. No.
The guy that fought him brought a lot of business to that dude.
I want to see McGregor fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I only know old guys.
I can't remember the guy. I can't pronounce the guy's name.
I'm like Ken Shamrock.
No.
Randy Couture.
I can't
Chuck
pronounce it.
Liddell.
Oh yeah,
I don't know those guys.
By the
I don't
way,
know these new fools.
have you ever seen Chuck Liddell in person?
No.
That fool is huge.
Yeah, he looks like a house.
Like I see him in the fights.
It's like when you watch guys in football, they look small, but then
Yeah.
you see those fools and you're like, fuck.
see, like when I watch Liddell in a fight, he doesn't look any bigger than you to me.
Right.
During the fight, I saw him in Vegas once. Mm-hmm. That guy is huge.
Now, you say huge shoes like this,
He
or even
is
tall?
tall and just,
Yoked like a motherfucker.
yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, I had no idea this guy was that big. He's probably almost a foot taller than me.
I remember fucking Chuck Liddell against freaking Tito Ortiz and how dope that
Old
shit
school
was.
fights.
Yeah.
There you go.
And his new stuff, you know what the problem is with the new stuff now? The guy, like, people are so good that you can't hold the title that long. And so there's such an influx of fighters that I'm like John Jones, if he fought like 5 times and he kept the
That's
belt,
why
like,
they're saying Jones is the greatest fighter of all time is because he's held the belt for so long. Khabib, Nurmagomedov.
that's my guy. Yeah, where's that rematch?
I want to see that,
will,
but he won't fight McGregor again
because of the fiasco that happened.
McGregor's a 500 fighter.
What does that mean? 50-50?
He's won 5 and lost 5. I mean, he's not.
So he thinks that won't do nothing to his notoriety.
No,
fighting a
it won't.
500 fighter.
To,
That's actually
to
fascinating.
Khabib, he's not.
Khabib is a monster.
He's not worthy of a title fight.
You know who I think Khabib should fight, and I think that they were talking about it. You know that guy, because you just talked about the Ultimate Fighter. You know that dude that took the knee to the fucking head.
Not sure.
There was this, there was a UFC an Ultimate Fighter winner fought a real UFC fighter and took a knee to the head, and it was like one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history.
Jesus.
And I want him to fight.
I can't remember.
Conor McGregor.
I'm not sure who it was.
Damn, my phone is recording. I gotta get way better at this fact finding, check finding stuff.
That's if my laptop hadn't died. Goddamn.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get. I might even. I don't need a D-Rock. Well, maybe I do. I don't know, because I'm. The talent. I'm doing already so much. I need to figure out, because this is gonna be so much work trying to figure this whole thing out. But I don't care. I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
I'm chip. But that guy, He's got good hands.
Yeah.
He's explosive. The dude I was telling you with the knee. And I think he might be in Connor's weight class.
Okay.
But I agree. Connor, like, it's so funny. I love Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan gushes on Conor McGregor so hard. And I'm like, I get it. Let me tell you something. If you don't like Conor McGregor, that's fine. I'm going to be honest. Conor McGregor got hands. And Conor McGregor's kind of got a jaw.
Yeah.
But, again, kind of like the John Jones thing. Is he the greatest pound for pound UFC fighter of all time? I don't know about that. I feel like they forgot about like the first 100 UFCs.
Anderson Silva.
Wow.
Anderson Silva.
My man. I love it. That's amazing. I agree. I would take him all day.
I'm also
he was like undefeated for a long. His record is like unreal.
I'm also a big GSP fan.
Oh, he was the next person I was gonna say. I was the next because those are the guys. Like I think maybe the UFC, the level of talent wasn't there that these guys dominated for so long.
Yeah.
Now it's so good. You're lucky if you hold the thing for a couple fights.
Yeah.
Because somebody's gonna take you out, or maybe you buy into your own bullshit, right? Where you get so cool for school. Yeah, you go ahead. Let me. We'll get it down. I'll try to fill out the airwaves while my man Robin uses the restroom. But I will say humbly that I think John Jones, in my opinion, it's argumentative, at least, to say that he is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. Now, I've heard I've heard one of his interviews, and he sounds and seems, from the interview, truly a humble dude and like an easygoing guy, and seems like a nice guy and so forth. Maybe I'm downgrading the fact of how hard, while we argued, I forget how hard is it for competitive sports. And I'm trying to put on my best hat here. By the way, to all your listeners, as I progress, I'm going to be and try to be as objective as possible at times, and try to be as mindful and understanding to people's legacy and work, because when you put yourself out there, it's not easy, and when you're in the front stage and center, I feel like it carries a lot of weight, because everybody's gonna contradict left to right. I was gonna say you gotta carry this on for me, because I'm gonna dip next too. But I was just saying that as bystanders, we judge these fighters so harshly when we don't even really understand how much, we were just talking about it, how much it takes. Like, I could say John Jones is not the greatest pound for pound fighter, but he might be, because to do that and to be dominant for that long, you know what I mean, is unreal. And I was saying, before you dip, and I'll leave it on this note, he seems to be a humble dude. Like, I'll take Jones a little bit more over. I call him the liquor man,
McGregor.
Yeah, because I think like 5-5. That's crazy, and you're an all-star.
Maybe not 5-5, but he's.
Sure, he doesn't have 20 wins. Let's say,
exactly.
Like
he's not 33-5.
Right? But is that like really hard to now look at? Like, see, so now I'm talking to everything, like these statistics. As I get better at this and progress, like, I really want to deep down, because it makes you think, like, okay, wow, maybe in this era we'll never see a 20-fight winner. We'll only see a 10-fight winner.
Could be. I mean, because there's a lot of them out there.
That's what I'm saying. The playing field now is so even. Look at this, even this, right? Like, there's so much data and all this other stuff about how to eat, how to sleep, and also too, I think the puncher's chance is real.
Yeah.
You could be dope. You could be dope. You could be doing all the backflips and cage jumps and whatever. At the end of the day, if a guy catches you with a lucky one.
Oh, yeah. Right there, man. Right there in the bottom of the jaw. There's that little bundle.
What are you going to say with that? I think that's the only thing. Well, not the only thing, but that's, I think, two of the flags that you could post on the ground is that Jones has never been knocked out, like TKO.
No.
And Conor has went the distance too and never been TKO'd. Even though he's won or lost by judges, you're not going to see that fool eat shit on the canvas.
But, he shouldn't have won. He should not have won that last fight.
He shouldn't have won that second Diaz fight. Diaz whipped his butt.
The problem with John Jones is his legacy is going to be marred by his drug use, you know, or his failed drug tests and stuff like that, and his suspension that he had. I mean, so yeah, I mean, he's a great fighter and everything like that, but you got to put an asterisk next to him, next to his name. I mean, it's that's the thing that bugs me about these sports people. It's like you got everything going for you, and like off the field, or you know, out of the ring, off the field, whatever, you know, like fucking up. It's like, dude, seriously, man, people would kill to be in your position. And you know, and you take it for granted, and it just bugs the hell out of me when athletes do that shit. Let's see right here. What did John Jones? Yeah, it's like people, you know, saying John Jones looked washed up on the Dominic Reyes fight, even though he won. But you know, he just didn't look like, you know,
his last fight
like,
wasn't really impressive.
like 5 years ago. He did not look like himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think though John Jones has had a hard road, right? A little bit, because he's gotten busted and he's gotten like in trouble, and he kind of got like tested positive and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know. The thing is that Conor McGregor is sexy, right? He talks a lot of shit. He makes it look flamboyant. He looks cool. He's got a fucking tattoo on his chest. He's Irish. He's got the fucking accent. You know what I mean? He's a killer. You know, and it kind of sounds cool and different, you know, like, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, to Conor's credit, the fact that he went the distance with one of the greatest boxers of all time, I think is a bit impressive. But who knows if they were pulling their punches, right? Because that guy goes the distance all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Right?
He gives the fans
Money,
what he
Floyd Mayweather.
He strings it out. Mayweather could have knocked him out in the first round if he wanted to. I mean,
right. He just wanted to make it, you know, entertaining.
But he's not going to get in there for $100 million and do a 30-second knockout.
100%.
He's going to string it out. He's going to let him, you know, he's going to give the fans what they want.
He's going to work it for sure. 100%.
So I'll put it this way: I would get in the ring with Conor McGregor. I would not get in the ring with John Jones.
Really?
Yes.
I get in the ring with both of those fools.
Nah. I feel
talking about distance, maybe?
Well,
because John Jones is lankier, and he has kind of that Anderson Silva kind of deal where it's effortless, where he could just hands down jab you and you'll not get knocked out, or front kick you to the face.
John Jones probably has like a 2-foot reach advantage on.
Facts, 100%. But that's why for me, you know, you kind of distance, and you try to go for the takedown, because you're not gonna beat that guy with hands. Just on the reach alone,
exactly.
He's gonna screw you up.
But see, I might have the advantage because he's got to extend, you know, where he's out here and I got to get in here. So if I'm in close, he can't really get the extension on his punches and everything.
I know. No. Listen, I get it. We're speaking, you know, sports science. It's legit. That's what these dudes sit down and think about, right? For me, so I have a friend, and I got to give him some credit for this, but he called it clinch. Mm-hmm. Counter, lock, neutralize, control, hold. Mm-hmm. That was his acronym, and that's pretty much what you're trying to do, man. You're trying to close the distance. You're trying to take it. I mean, the thing about the problem with the UFC is the UFC is trying to become boxing, right? And this is what fucks the fans up. This is the problem. They try to promote it like boxing, but it's not.
It's not. No.
Right? You're not gonna get the sexy knockouts every time.
And boxing still makes crazy money, even though that's not technically the
I don't even know who the fuck is watching it. Right? When you think about it, who watches boxing? Is it like grandpas? Because I feel like I've never seen a grandpa with a fucking TV. Like, when was the last time you come into somebody's, hey, and a boxing match is on?
You know, that's the only reason. You know, that's the only reason McGregor did that fight with Mayweather.
Facts. I mean, he got generation money.
Exactly.
With that.
Exactly.
What was it? Was it 50 mil?
No, he made 100.
And then, I think this guy made 250.
Yeah. Oh, Mayweather made like 200
like
something.
That?
Yeah. But
I mean, you still think you could burn through your cash at $100 million with private jets, bro?
Dude, do you know how much a private jet costs?
No, I know. First of all, forget about how much a private jet costs. Do you know how much it costs to fill up a gas on a private jet?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that first. Let alone a fucking private jet.
I went to Vegas for a buddy's bachelor party on a private jet.
Oh, damn, that's so cool. Fuck you.
Awesome, dude.
That's pretty awesome. I'm kind of jealous.
You know, when you don't have someone telling you to put your seatbelt on, you're
fuck, that's so dope. Okay, so when you get on that, do you have to still go through like security?
Nope. We drove up on the
that's so hot. I'm
You know,
so
just
in
fucking
for
sat
that.
there, yeah.
And just walking up like the cool kids in the
Oh, it
movies.
was beautiful. It was like
just walk up the stairs.
Yep. It was, no. We just
No, you know like the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
no.
yeah, we just
you just
walked
walk right
up
up
and
and
you're
you're in the seat and we're out.
there's no like there's couches and everything. You just like lounge them out and everything. But so we drove from
so
from San Diego to Vegas,
Uh-huh.
and my buddy he had to get a different plane, like a more expensive plane, because the guy who was getting married said, "Hey, his brother's coming," but ended up not coming. And we needed to get a bigger plane for one more for
And
one
he
more
fucked
person.
you?
Yeah.
I would have fucking tracked that dude down and killed him. Fuck you, bro.
Oh, it was beautiful though.
I'm sure I could imagine. That must have been a great time. You sound like you go to Vegas a lot. Or
I go
used to.
I go at least once a year.
I don't like Vegas. But
Really?
are you a gambler? But you're a gambler.
I'm a gambler.
Right. That's why
But
you
I
like
also go around the time of the Adult Film Awards.
it. Ooh, the
So,
AVN? Come
yes,
on, baby.
I go around
Daddy.
the AVN.
You're talking to a jerk-off master and a porn enthusiast. I would love to go.
So I go during January.
Oh my God,
But that's
I would
also
love to
when
go.
they do.
Have you seen like the ladies? I was gonna say something else, but like the ladies, like, can you get access? I looked it up once. You know, as future podcasters. So one of my ideas, I want to get a couple porn stars on the show. I wonder if you could can you? I think you could buy general admission to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
that a fact?
have seen a few porn stars there. Mm-hmm. I've seen more male porn stars than I have female porn stars.
Fuck it, I'll get those fools on the show. I could care less.
You know who Danny D is?
Probably.
You would. I'm sure you would know him.
I have. So I was listening to this story the other day, and they were like, "Is someone who has watched all the porn in the world is probably sick." I've watched a lot of fucking porn, so I probably know this guy. Like
Yeah, I'm sure
literally
you would-
stood up hours.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hours.
I'm sure if you saw the face, you would know who he is.
Sure. I mean,
Saw
I
the
think,
junk, you would know who he
I
is.
think I watched. I'm a sick fuck. And a little bit out of it. I think I'm so obscure. It depends on what mood I am in. But I usually watch a lot of fucking black guys on white girl porn, so I probably know more black guy actors than I do white boys. Because Danny D sounds like, is Danny D?
He's a white guy,
Right, sounds like a white guy.
but he's like a European white guy. Who's
Okay,
like
yeah.
small, but
You're right. You got the elephant trunk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I saw him in there and a couple other people. But I used to work in the advertising agency for porn. So you got a website, you got all the little ads on the side and everything. I worked for an agency that would buy and sell that spot. So like I own that spot. You give me your ad, or
Whatever. The dick pills.
You sell me your
the
ad, yeah,
extend
and
your cock pills.
all that shit, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'll follow you. I've been on the show. I mean, I've been on the site.
so for like 2 years. All I did was watch porn to put up, because I was the guy who put the ads up.
Man, that's got to be a hard job, because I would have found it really hard to like not jerk off while I had to do the work.
In the beginning, I'm like, damn, man, I'm not seeing too much shit. And then as it goes
Right,
on, I'm
you
like,
kind of get
yeah,
right.
fucking-
Well, that's what I'm at now. Now I'm just kind of like, this doesn't do it for me, baby. You get more obscure.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
One of the sales rep, every Monday, she'd like to start my day off with gay porn. I'm like, God damn it, woman.
Wow.
So I had to put up
What a silly chick.
I had to put up the
I'm surprised
ads.
you didn't date her.
I tried to.
Yeah, she didn't want it.
No, she wasn't. She was dating somebody else at the time. I didn't know it.
Okay. Did she at least like make your feelings feel good? Just be like, hey, I would have, but I'm dating somebody. You know how chicks-
yeah,
chicks
one of
always
those,
say shit
one of
like
those
that?
things. Yeah, exactly.
I would have, but fuck
Exactly.
you.
She's like some Russian mafia chick.
Oh shit! Yeah, you know what's so funny to me? The porn has a lot of mafia on the
Yeah.
low. That's why I wanted to get in the game, but it always fucked in my brain. Just because I'm like, I don't want to fucking. I've always been nervous to do some like super illegal shit where like I gotta get with like the big Joes, and I'm just like, they're gonna kill me
So-
and leave me in the back somewhere.
I know a lot of 35-year-old millionaires. I know a lot of people who like hide money in the Maldives and shit like that because of what they like their ads and stuff that they do. They're technically illegal in the States.
This is what me and Jake were chatting about,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
the gray hat area, right? Of the digital marketing space.
Yep.
Yeah. No. I after the show, I wanted to ask you a little bit about that because you know your boy is doing this project now, and I might need some of that dough that you
Exactly, yeah.
you be getting, bro. You gotta put your guy on. Don't shit on me, bro. I want to get some love. I don't even need the little purse you get. I can get like a couple $100 a month, and I'm okay. You know what I mean? So I wanted to create just a little bit of more value because we're chatting and we're probably getting to the end. What I wanted to ask, what are some of the sites that you use? It's funny that we have sites. It's funny that it's a great segue that you use to get some of your baseball fantasy insight. Because I know when I first started out in fantasy football, not only was I bombarded with all of these different places, but the value of something that I knew was good, because a lot of these dudes, they're like, to me, fantasy predictors are like weathermen. They'll say, oh, this is great, but it's not. It's gonna rain all weekend, and they like the sunshine.
You'd be surprised how often how accurate they can get.
I know that's actually been something that I've been challenged with, because I'm like, fuck you, bro, but they be hitting it.
Yeah.
And I always get mad when they're like, get this guy on the waiver wire, and I'm like, fuck you,
And then you don't exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, so what is it? A CBS Sports? Is it MLB.com/fantasy? What do you use
For fantasy baseball? I usually use MLB. And then
actually they're insiders. Let me tell you, they're solid. A lot of people don't talk about MLB the network. They got some smart dudes on their channel.
They really do. I also use
very savvy guys.
The Yahoo Sports channel, but I think a lot of that links to MLB. Every now and then I cruise over to the ESPN network.
Those fucking dudes are a waste of my time. I mean,
Every
Carabel is mediocre. Does Carabel play baseball?
I'm not sure.
How about you don't even read writers? How about damn, we gotta become besties so that we can like fucking sync up, because I'm such an avid reader. And I need to read. My one job today was, one of my jobs today was supposed to be, I wanted to read a book. I didn't get a chance to, but I read tons of freaking articles.
Yeah.
And so like I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the ESPN football guys play baseball too. What's the famous football guy? I always forget his fucking name.
Famous baseball guy.
No, football guy. He's on ESPN. He was like in the Avengers. He always talks so much shit. He has the love-hate articles.
What the hell?
Yeah, I can see his chunky face right now.
Is he the guy who's always like, whoop?
No, that's he does commentary just for football. That's Chris Burris. Chris Broussard. No, Chris Broussard is an NBA guy. It's Chris something. Shucks, we're failing you, folks.
Sports wise, we are failing.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it though. This is why we do this, to kind of get it retooled. Gotta get my man Jake up in the building too. I wanted to have him on the show, just because he's a character. Both of you guys are really interesting dudes. So, go ahead.
It pissed me off. His dad had like fifth row seats, Padres seasonal tickets for years, and right before they started getting like better, he sold the tickets. Yeah, so now we have to like buy goddamn tickets. I'm like,
actually, what's so funny? Because I was trying to do the sports thing. I was thinking about buying season tickets. And then like making a write-off, just because like doing stuff within the stadium, like social media wise.
But you can do it with this,
right? No, but like doing other stuff there, because dude, I go to a lot of freaking Padre games. At least last year it was a low season. I went to 20. And that was low. Nice. I've had season tickets, and I did like 50 games. I love baseball, and I love the stadium. It's beautiful, and it's good beer, and the food is good.
I had a buddy who lived in the building right behind right field. So when we'd go over to his house...
Tatis lives there.
Does he? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's close by.
So we would go there, hang out.
13 Park, whatever that street is, like, because of the angles, you know how it goes?
So we would go upstairs
and watch it,
and on the roof they would have a TV and couches and everything like that.
Sick.
And we would watch the game looking into the outfield, but we were also right behind one of the big boards, so it's kind of like you would split it so you'd see this part. But on TV it was always like 3 minutes behind on what's going down on the field.
So yeah. And then it's like
you hear the crowd like, oh!
I started working at Donovan's. It happens all the time. I'm watching the game and you hear, and then I'm like, something good happened.
Exactly.
And 3 minutes later, I think it's like, so I think TV is like 7 second delay.
Yeah.
So whatever, that's somewhere around there.
Not 3 minutes, but so we're gonna wrap it up, you guys, and I'm gonna get a chance to talk to Robin a little bit more. Hopefully, motivate him to get into the gym. Thank you guys so much for taking time to listen. Robin, thank you so much for taking time for coming on the show.
I love being here.
And hopefully, it's not the first, and we can get a couple more shows in, especially to tease it out a little bit. The fantasy rankings will be coming out soon.
Yes, I'd love to come back on
Please.
when the draft starts, when the season starts. Talk the game. Talk the game when it's going.
100%. Thanks to you much. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace out.